Introducing Pubcoin. Pubcoin is the rewards program for pub sports contributors. Regular chat contributors share their play of the day, POD, in the YouTube chat, including the phrase POD in their message. At the end of the week, the amount of units earned are converted into Pubcoins. Pubcoin can be used as reward points for prizes, shop discounts, and contests.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's Mills here, Pub Sports Radio. Do you guys want to challenge the personalities here at Pub Sports Radio? Do you guys think you're better than them at entering in your MMA predictions and picks? Would you want to get paid for it? $100? Here's how you do it, man. You sign up right here at the link below. It's just this easy. PubSportsRadio.com. Enter your email. Pick your weekly picks. That's it. Oh, and you get bonus points if you can predict how they're going to win in what round. Every single week, a new winner's getting crowned. So every Saturday on Pub Sports Radio. So come on and check us out. You can win $100 just for signing up. Only thing you need to do is see if you can beat us here at Pub Sports Radio by entering your UFC predictions and picks weekly. Do it. I dare you. See you guys soon.
Your membership to Gold, you will be automatically entered in every horse race, every Wednesday and Friday. It is time to race horses. We are racing camels today.
Shout out to the Gold members. We're racing in San Antonio immediately here. And we're off. 2 minutes, 74 canals on this racetrack. It's wide. We're racing in San Antonio.
Pat Wally moving forwardly. Jeff Slaughter in the mix as well. And as is Randall Sheffield, who's put that beautiful nose out front.
But it's actually real grass here, Jimmy. Maybe Kentucky bluegrass. Oldie, no! There he goes. Oldie in the lead now. K. Wolf falls back. The horses love it. Sometimes they stop and eat it on the way to the finish line. That's why your horses start so far in the back. Here. Oh, look at Nussflush Allen bursting out here. J-Dub in the mix. Rude Boy up here as well. Jimmy, take it away.
There's Oldie. Oldie is moving to the front. We are past the halfway mark in our 2 mile. And there's Ricky Levy.
Oh my goodness, he's in the mix here. Jimmy, take it home. This is our first dog race ever.
19 seconds left in the horse race here. It's Fernando Mendoza trying to find the wire. 14 seconds left. Can Fernando Mendoza take this home? Here comes Kenny Kengan. Kenny Kengan wants a piece of the pie. Put his schnoz up front. Ricky Bobby, 9 seconds left. Can Donut Silks make a run? Can Res Mall make a run to be $50?
You son of a bitch!
Here comes Tori Coker. Kenny Can Smoke and Mirrors. Director 97 home. That is the way. Here comes Jason Meyer, the Eldorado Custodian, Billy Friedrich. Jones one all coming down to the finish.
Coin! Nowhere!
Oh no! Fanatical Jim!
From the corporate Peter Low Shack, legendary sports handicapper, more dapper than a Dom. Father young phenom, known as Jimmy, who declared one day that the bag was here to stay. Information like a PSA, when we all PSR, Pub Sports Radio is all. Is a man named Slaughter and he flipped the script. No competition in this but they quit the trip. But we say we be pubbing, better with the bag and you love it. We want a top 10, we above it. Legend.
What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Thursday, February 12th to all of you. Thank you for watching Betting with the Bag right here on Pub Sports Radio. It is 3-0 Canada over Czechia right now. The goal with 6 seconds left. Very costly. I cashed the first period under, but good God, to go 2-0 on that would have been massive. We have Olympic hockey action to break down. I still have yet to bet the America game. Just waiting for this line. I guess it's not going to move anymore. I guess TJ was right. Last night, the plus 3.5 of Latvia was plus 130. He said he thought it would close at plus 135 to 140. I thought I was going to get better than that with the line, with American money coming in. But he's right. It's only moved 5 cents since we had that conversation. So still have to move on that 3-0 with 1:48 left in the second period. Great to see all of you guys. Thank you for joining us. Res Mob, Texas A&M first half cashes. I know it did. I was on it with you, my man. We got Res Mob on James Madison first half today. Justin McKelvey on Northern Iowa on and the Utah Jazz team total over 115.5. Let's get this all copied and pasted here. Great to see all of you guys. Brian Watson in the house. Billy Friedrich, Green Bay is pig milk. We've missed you, Billy. Love to see it. Let me get that copied and pasted. Man, finally we get to start our day with a little pig milk. Oh, that feels just right. Let me get this right under our guy, Justin McKelvey's action. Pig milk. I've missed you. I have missed you. And I've missed these fine ladies as well. Kong's clips in the house. Kong, I'm just waiting for confirmation from Jeff, but the prize pool of 29 players in the confidence pool with $4 taken to cover the costs. So $96 from each going into the prize pool is $2,784. 65% of that, Kong, $1,809.60. Pop that right here. And there you go. Kong, congratulations. Bo Jackson in the house. We got Ronnie Lofton. Swiggy says Latvia plays on Olympic rinks while USA is used to these NHL-sized ones. That's fair. That's fair. Yeah. If you look at that 2014 team that won for Canada in Europe, they were massive. They're the biggest Olympic team we've ever had. I don't know why both America and Canada, at least Canada brought in Tom Wilson, but I don't know why they didn't go after more size in these small rinks. Brian Watson going to be on USA -3.5. I'm going to be on Latvia +4. I am just waiting. Dougie Wise says horrific NBA card. Brizzy will be able to mine something out of it. And also, college basketball is what we are attacking heavily today. College basketball, my friend. We have heavy action, 6 and 5 day in college basketball for me. Marshall, now, I moved live on Marshall, not as heavy as TJ moved live on Marshall. But that's a big swing. I have a -2.5. They win by 2. They have 2 foul shots, 5 seconds left. They missed both. 7 and 4. The difference between 7 and 4 and 6 and 5 is, as you guys know, massive. So that one stung. That one stung. Lucky Power in now. Swiggy. Oh, I did send you and Slaughter a message to confirm that prize total. If you could do that for me, because we got the thumbnails, the promo to celebrate our man Kong's Clips. Kong, the winner of our confidence pool. Shout out to our guy Kong's Clips, man. Celtics did smash Nasty Nate, my friend. Thank God, because it was a bad night in NBA again for me. I'm still, in the black all year long, but thank God for the Celtics. Thank God for the Celtics here. Zolok Entertainment in the house. Great to have you. We got Kent Davies will be at Tampa Bay Down Saturday. Oh, wow. That sounds like heaven to me. That's what it sounds like. It sounds like heaven. You're a lucky man. You are a lucky man. We got 9 legacy in the house. Flank steak. A lot of love for the Jazz. And on the spread, NJIT here for our guy 9 legacy. Also, William and Mary. Those are games that our guy Morgan Spooner will be breaking down here with us. We'll start with Spooner's games, and then we'll go through as many of our games. Jazz shutdown JJJ, says our guy saturated here in the house. Great to see all of you guys. Thank you for joining us. Yes, Cole Caulfield, Jason Robertson. I'm surprised about both of them. Wine Time Sports says I need to bounce back today and tomorrow. I feel that Wine Time. NBA got me. I got almost all that back in Olympic hockey yesterday, but not a great start in Olympic hockey today. Went 1-3 in the first game, and then 1-1 here in this game. So not great. Would like this to stay under the total. I expect Canada just to park the bus and shut the game down here. Billy Friedrich says Marshall foul line shooter was an 80.1% shooter on the season, and it screwed me. Look, it bothered me very, very, very much. We have the Nuke Worker in the house. We got the great news that Nuke will be rocking with us at Pubapalooza. It didn't look like it was going to happen, but man, it now is, and thank God. We're going to need a new partner, though, for the Nuke Worker. Unfortunately, our guy, Troy Torrance, touchdown Troy, can't make it this year to Pubapalooza, but we're pumped up. And now the Nuke Worker is in. Nuke Worker is in. I love it. I love it. Great to see all of you guys. Thank you for joining us. Jose Perez in the house. AOD ready to get to work. So let's do exactly that. We are now going to break down the 2 games at 3:10 p.m. They pop off in 3 hours here for the Olympics. And then we're also going to break down the games tomorrow morning at 6:10 a.m. The games won't get to cap on our show. So the 3:10 p.m. games, the 6:10 a.m. games, and then we should probably talk about our plan for the 3:10 p.m. games. Let's bring in our next guest. The man from the north, known for his vast depth of knowledge. Yesterday, he gave out Cal money line, double overtime, and he didn't get to the window with it. Man, what a call that was. He deserved better. Please welcome the Goracle to the show. Gorky, how are you, my friend?
I knew that game was over when Pippen decided to foul out.
Yes, but man, it was tough. I thought you had it a couple different times.
I did too, Jim. I did too. But hey, every loss is only a reason to get back in the winner's saddle the next time.
Well, let's do that right now and right here. Great to see all of you guys. Thank you for joining us. Kent Davies says we'll be Wednesday through Saturday. Crazy Collins Clip says it's $1,000 to fly from Southern Indiana to San Antonio. It's $326 round trip from Toronto to San Antonio, which is insane. But you know what, Kent? And you know what, Kong? You just got to meet up with our guy, Justin McKelvey, who'll be driving across North America. Just take a bus and meet him somewhere.
Did he decide? Is he going? Did he decide? Is this for sure now?
Well, we don't want to put too much pressure on him, but we need him there badly. We need him there badly. All right. Thank you guys all for joining us. Let's get to work. Gorky, my friend. We have action. Germany versus Denmark. And there's Justin saying he needs a driving partner. Kent Davies, just hop on a bus, meet Justin, and roll there. So let's roll here with Germany versus Denmark. The graphics are going to be a little late. I was late getting to them. As Nuke says, 57 games in college basketball, and to go over every single one of them, I bet 16
on a Thursday.
And I bet 16 of them. So it was just the whole process took, as always, as you can imagine, longer than one.
Okay.
But let's roll here for the big one right now. We have Germany versus Denmark. As you guys know, I'm on Germany top 3 at plus 900. It's funny, that moved from 1,100 to 900, while the gold medal moved from 55 to plus 66. And
Do you have a gold sprinkle too?
oh yeah,
Oh.
yeah, $200 on the plus 6,600. So not a big bet, just a fun, like a little lottery ticket bet there. But I do believe in this German hockey team. So as you guys know, to follow along with the line movement, I have been going over. I've been taking pictures, just constantly taking pictures of the lines to see what kind of movement we will get. So back 6 days ago, last Friday, Germany was minus 1.5 at plus 125. I wanted dogs throughout this tournament, so I didn't.
It's down now, huh?
Yes, it is. I didn't gravitate towards Germany at that price. The under 5.5 at that time was minus 150. Very, very, very expensive. Now we are looking, and these are at 365. These prices. Now we are looking at the minus 1.5 at minus 106. So a 31-cent move towards the German hockey team. The under 5.5 is minus 134. I moved on 2 spots here myself. I moved on the first period under 1.5 and the full game under. And these were very expensive. This was the game that was most expected to go under. So this was all very expensive. I got it. I got the first period under 1.5 at minus 130, and I got the full game under 5.5 at minus 134. Going to that right now, we have the full game under 5.5 minus 134. So there was a 16-cent move to the over, but that's when I got it as well. And it was more expensive at offshores. And then we have the first period under 1.5 minus 143. So that is a good sign. I got that at minus 130. Now I got it at a different book. We got more action coming in here from Coin. I will be copying and pasting all of it. Let's talk about the rosters here. We'll start with Denmark. Denmark has some real legit NHL talent in all of your Bjorkstrand, Nikolai, Ehlers. They also have a talent that has played in the NHL, like Nicholas Jensen and others. They don't have an NHL defenseman, and they have 2 goaltenders in Frederik Andersen, who plies his trade with the Hurricanes, and Mads Søgaard for the Ottawa Senators. This first line for Germany, I just want to watch over and over and over again. We know it's Stützle and Draisaitl. They have had Peterka there. They've had Nico Sturm there. We'll have to see who plays on that line. They also have, players who have played in the NHL that don't right now. They have young players that have hope that are in the AHL, like a Lucas Reichel, Wojtek Stakowiak. I don't know. Stakowiak. Okay, thank you. They have him. He's in Syracuse. They also have Moritz Seider on defense, and arguably the hottest goalie coming into the tournament, Philip Grubauer of the Seattle Kraken. In that, I'm high on these Germans. I'll be copying and pasting the action here from Cappers in the chat, so let us know your plan. But take it away, Gorky. I'm on first period under, full game under. What's your plan?
Man, I think this is going to be a defensive fight and great game to watch if you love defensive hockey. I really don't see a lot of goals. That's good for under betters. I don't know. Maybe this is the spot where you guys can cash in on that 60-minute draw. I think that in the end, Germany probably squeaks one out, but both teams can win because all you need is one chance in a game like this. And Ehlers is a hell of a sniper, especially for this setup. In a team like this, they feel like he's God. So, anyone can win. This is not a game that I'm on. Anything can happen. Enjoy the hockey action, fellas.
Well, God plays on the other team, and that's Leon Draisaitl.
Well, no, but he's the Danish version of a Leon Draisaitl.
No, come on, Draisaitl's giant. But Ehlers,
Okay, but brother, they haven't had a better player than him in the history.
He's a very good hockey player, no doubt about it. So there we go. Gorky staying off this spot. I have doubled up on unders in Germany versus Denmark. Let's move on to Latvia versus USA. And Swiggy talking about Grubauer in for Germany. I'm excited for the game. Excited for the game. Justin McKelvey's pretty sure he's not God. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I can't. I don't have that. But it wouldn't blow my mind if mask off and there he is. Let's roll on here to our next spot on the board.
Maybe I over exaggerated in my analysis. I apologize.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
If I offended anyone, I apologize. Actually, let's just cash, fellas.
Latvia versus USA is our next spot. I do question some of the decisions, as a lot of you have with Team USA. They have so much talent. Brock Nelson and Tage Thompson are so important to this team's size. They don't have as much size as I would have ensured that they have. Now you could say, well, look, they got the Kachuk brothers. And that should be enough. But
much talent was left off too.
Well, Robertson is a sniper of the highest quality. I mean, if I look at who I would have dropped, the problem is that's the problem. I mean, Clayton Keller for Robertson. I mean, it's tough. You do need guys like Clayton Keller who can pass the puck around. This defense though is very good. Werenski and Hughes kind of leading it. Sanderson, we know, is elevated. McAvoy, such a heart and soul guy. Brock Faber taking the next step. And Lacombe, I love, and he replaced Seth Jones. And then Hellebuck, I mean, arguably, you probably have the best goaltender in the game in this tournament in Hellebuck, although he hasn't shown that this year with the 900 save percentage. Let's talk about Latvia. Latvia here has Teddy Bluger from the Canucks, Gergensons from the Tampa Bay Lightning, Ravinsky plays for Abbotsford. They actually have a bunch of AHL players. They have other NHL players, and Vilmanis from the Panthers, Balinskis from the Panthers as well. They have NHL goaltending in Merzlikins and Shilovs. And I think it's hard for these big favorites to get rolling. Shout out to our guy, Christopher Ing in the house. Did book his trip for the Freakness. Oh, I love to hear that. Michael Johnson saying U.S. has some deep goaltending. They certainly do. So there has been line moves. Let's just go over them here. On the 26th, we could get Latvia. Well, we could get Latvia plus 3.5 at -106.
Right now?
No. Again, that was on the 20. That was on the 6th of February. So then now we are sitting here with Latvia a plus 3.5 and plus 135, as we talked about off the top of the show. So a 41-cent move. The interesting part of all of this is this total has not moved at all. It's not moved at all. Now, I know I'm on the under 6.5 for sure, but I was certain this line would move to the over, like the Canada-Czechia game moved to the over, like all the exciting games with the super teams have moved to the over. This has not happened here in Latvia, USA. They were not offering first period lines here at this book for Latvia, USA. They're still not. Now I can bet on an offshore for first period lines, but I'm comfortable not messing with the first period. I'm comfortable just taking Latvia +4 and the under 6.5. And I have 2.5 hours to make this move. Take it away for us here. Wine time wanting Latvia +4.5. I don't think that's going to come. If I look at the alternate line right now, that they're not even offering it here. Wow, damn it, they're not offering it now. Huh? Okay, take it away. They were so I can't get the 4. I'll have to take a 3.5 with this plus money. God, they're screwing me. I'm going to take a look at a couple other books. Take it away for us here, Gorky. Our next spot on the board, the big one for American hockey fans, USA Latvia.
I want to remind everybody that this ice surface is even smaller than an NHL ice surface. This is probably the smallest ice surface ever created. The construction people decided to make the cobblestone streets of Rome when they're making this ice surface. So it is what it is. But I think that favors a team like the States. Would I take them at having to pay Vig with a 4.5 handicap? Probably not. You take the goaltending of Merzlikins, who is the hands down probably the number one of Latvia, and you take that not for a lot of units, just for fun pizza money and enjoy the game.
So this is a stay off spot for you here.
Yes, it is, sir.
So I'm going to wait a little bit longer. I'm going to set my alarm here. I cannot miss this. That has happened in the past. So I'm going to set my alarm here so that it goes off and I know it's time to. I want to wait as long as possible. So at this point, I'll wait till 2:10 p.m. So that'll be an hour before the game, and we can decide here if there's a time to move on. So those were bets I didn't make. I was waiting for the American money. Michael Johnson's right. Talking about him expecting a low-scoring game under 6.5. The fact that this hasn't moved on the over 6.5, I think, is extremely telling. So
yeah, it's because they are respecting the ability of Merzlikins that people now know about. Like, we know Merzlikins is a NHL level goaltender. He's more than that. He's probably able to back you to the playoffs, if not, the conference finals, and then who knows from there? Like, anything can happen. So he's a top level goaltender.
Yeah, I'm excited. This will be a fun game for us all to watch here. So this one popping up at 3:10 will probably still be rolling at that time. So we have the third period starting in Czechia, Canada.
I just watched it just starting now. Yeah.
So this is the line that made no sense to me. We're going to move on to Friday, 6:10 a.m. action. We're going to start with the Finland-Sweden game. This line made no sense to me, like the double E in Sweden. It made no sense to me here. I've never gotten a 5.5 with somewhat regular VIG on an under in Finland-Sweden in my life. Ever. And then, so I thought we'd wake up and this would be minus 140. Maybe I'm just too caught up in the history of this matchup between these two. But these games go under and under and under and under and under. And I wasn't going to mess around. I bet the unders. Now, the first period under 1.5 has moved 5 cents to minus 139. I got it minus 134. It's very expensive. The under 5.5 has not moved. It makes no sense to me that it has not moved. I am also on Sweden. Minus one line at minus 122. So that's my spot here. Sweden minus 1. I loved their first game. I love them peppering the Italian goaltender and not being rewarded. And I also love the under. I mean, the under is the first period under, full game under in Finland, Sweden. That's the best bet on the board. But why would they still be offering me the under 5.5 minus 118 if it was such an incredible bet? I mean, that's a question I've been asking myself. I can't get to the answer, but
because UC Saros let in 4 goals to a Slovakian team yesterday with basically one player. That's a great player, but Juraj Slavkovsky is the carrier of that team. Like, he is. Now
we'll talk about him here in a second with Italy, Slovakia, but hit us with this Finland, Sweden, my man.
For me, okay, first of all, do all of these teams make the next round? Is this true, what I'm seeing? This first round of games is just for exhibition purposes, basically? No one goes home?
Let me find out exactly how that works right now. Okay, here, but keep rolling.
Yeah, but for me, if I'm Finland coming off of that loss yesterday, I'm feeling like this is a must-win game for me. because if I'm 0-2, having faced everyone but Italy, you're going into the elimination round of games potentially at 1-2 with nothing. So I'm gonna put everything I have left into this game, especially because it's a rivalry matchup and these two teams absolutely hate each other.
They do. And yes, you are right. Every team moves on. So the top team in each group
Straight to the quarterfinal.
And then all remaining 8 teams move on to a do or die qualification playoff game. So the team, ranked 5th will play the team ranked 12th. So every team moves on past the round robin. You are right. I was a little concerned. Look, Finland always steps up when they play Sweden.
Yeah.
I just feel like the pressure is going to be mounting on. It's not just that. Look, it's not just that. When everybody was saying that Finland was a dark horse, I looked at this Finland lineup and thought, this is the weakest Finland lineup I've ever seen.
It is. It is. Like they're still good, or maybe they're not, and I still get that feeling because I know what the jersey of Finland represented before. I don't know. But yeah, you're right. Because past guys like Rantanen, what do you have? And is he even at this tournament?
Yeah, he's there.
Yeah, he's here.
They have Rantanen as assistant captain, Aho assistant captain, Mikael Granlund is their captain. They have Rupi Hintz, Eric Hala. It's not a weak group, but it's the weakest that I remember.
Yes, I agree. So another stay-off game for me because I absolutely don't know what to do with it. Maybe if I want to tonight, I will post it. If I do, I would only move on Finland just because plus money and what the hell. But the smart move would be wait for the elimination games, then play a lot. Then play the rest of the tournament.
Yeah, I'm overall I don't know if I've ever taken the favorite, honestly, in Finland, Sweden. But here I just feel like those 2 games, Sweden puts up 60 plus shots. They're laughing. It gets a little stressful. They're still very loose and relaxed. And Finland's going to be squeezing the stick so tight. The first period under, full game under, got to be the best bets on this entire card to me.
What's the number for the over under?
5.5, and it's gone
5.5.
Yeah, I've never had one in my life.
So they want the books want 6 goals for the over. That feels too good to be true, honestly, Jim.
Yeah, but you know what? When a line immediately comes out in a tournament that's with different rink dimensions, I'm not going to sit back and go, oh, they're outsmarting me or anything like that. I'm going to say, look, I'm going to hammer it.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you.
So that is our 6 a.m. game tomorrow. We have one more. Game here, and it's all for me still revolving around Damian Clara, the Anaheim Ducks prospect who stood on his head here. We're trying to find out if it was cramping, what the hell, if he's out. We're trying to get this information nonstop.
We're talking about the Italy goaltender, yes?
Yes, and I'm getting nothing. We're just still not. So I'll tell you this. I don't care. And he is also the first ever Italian-born player to be drafted. This guy was second-round pick. So if Clara is in, I'm going to back Italy plus 3.5 and expect Slovakia to overlook them. Slovakia played absolutely spectacular in that first game. If Clara is out, I'm going to back Slovakia to pummel Italy. And if you're saying, well, how big is the difference here? That's a fair
Huge
question to ask.
It's a huge difference.
But Clara has magic in him, and he wants 60 shots on that. So it's all coming down to that. So I won't move until I know. And judging by the line history, let me just look at the last picture I took of this line. Right now, you have, let's go back to lines here. We have, it's still 3-0, 13 minutes left here, 3-0 Canada. We have, here we go. The plus 3.5 now minus 167. This line's moving so fast to Italy. And I would already be on Italy.
Jim, I see Clara and Hervik both questionable for the respective teams.
Look, Andrew G says Slovakia pummels Italy. This is a spot where, and you could easily be right, Andrew G. I think this is a spot where Slovakia overlooks Italy. But again, no Clara, no action. So this has screwed me. So I took this picture. Oh, no, that's the old one.
Hervik is actually out.
Oh, he's out? Okay.
He will not play.
When was
for
this?
the Slovaks.
Let's see this picture. Is this the one I took? Yes. I took. Oh, no, that's not the one. Okay, sorry. I gotta find these pictures, man. God, so annoying. In saying all of this, though, it's a very simple situation. I'll let you hammer this down, but I simply need Clara in. I'll be on Italy. If Clara is not in, I'll be on Slovakia. And if Clara is not in, I'll be on the over.
So if that Clara kid is not in, Jimmy, you think that these guys can pick their number and just have a day?
I do.
Slovaks?
I do.
Okay, fair.
I do. I really do. So take it away. Tell us your plan here for our final spot on the board.
I am upset that I didn't play Slovakia yesterday because I know them to be one of these teams that gets stubborn when they play against teams that are supposed to be better than them. But I also know them. They have a Balkan mentality. What I mean by that is that they have this mentality where they play down to their competition or up to their competition. When they play up, it's like yesterday. They beat Finland 4-1. They made Finland feel like they didn't belong on the same ice surface as them. But I would not be surprised if they struggle here. They can also struggle against that backup because, in my opinion, I think that it's a mental game. We have nothing to play for. We are the favorites. These guys can't touch us. Well, that's a dangerous spot to be in.
That was my whole breakdown. I said that exact stuff to TJ. I just feel now that if Clara's not in net, Italy's just gonna get waxed. And I've got my plan set.
I will say one thing about Italy in this spot here. This is the one game where they would have thought, hey, we can get something out of this, right? Because honestly, against Sweden, you're not, and against whoever they play in the third game, Finland also, you're not, because those are top 5 level teams in the world. You're an Italy team that was brought to this tournament because you're the host.
Yeah, no, you know what? Maybe if Claire is announced out and the line is just too big of a swing, but I've got my plan. Is anything you want to make official here for 6:10 a.m. tomorrow?
No, sir. I will. If anything happens, I will post about it on the Finland Sweden game. But here, no. I think that Slovakia can easily sleepwalk through this game, and it can be a letdown spot.
So, we just got another 10-cent move. Another 10-cent move to US. Or sorry, yes, another 10-cent move to USA. So it has cleared that plus 135, plus 140 It's now a plus 145 here for
Latvia minus plus the goals.
Plus 3.5 at plus 145 now.
That's plus money.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I might have to get myself on that. Actually, nothing official though, because I'm not gonna give anything out official that's not already set in stone. So I have to talk to my runner to make sure that she can run that to the book.
Goracle, thank you for rocking with us, my man. Goracle can be seen on Saturday. Well, he'll be with us tomorrow to cap more Olympic hockey, but he can be seen on Saturday for all about the hoops, and as well on Medicate Monday. I'm going to pop Gorky's X handle here in the chat. Support our friend, the Goracle. Gorky, any last words for the Capper support?
No, brother, I'm going to watch EuroLeague, probably get my ass kicked, but tomorrow's the day. Dubai's playing tomorrow. Those guys have been good to me, and I plan to cash tomorrow in Milano.
Get that cash, Gorky. Thank you for rocking with us. There he is, the Goracle in the house. Now, we have a massive NCAA basketball card. Massive, massive, massive. And it begins with 5 games broken down by our guy, Spooner, who'll be joining us in 15 minutes. So I have 16 games that I have bet, 2 that I'm interested in. I am interested in a couple of Spooner's games as well. There are a few others that I'm interested in, but 2 I had queued up to bet. So we're going to cap those 2 as well. Let's see if I'm not sure if Jose can jump on with us here. I know I got him the graphics late, but let's start going through. Let's start going through my games here and start breaking them down. So thank you guys for joining us. A 6-5 day yesterday. Not enough. It was not enough. So Jose, we're going to move a little further ahead. We are going to start with my first game on the board. If you could rock with that here. So we begin with Bryant Bulldogs, UMass Lowell. I do want to hear the take from Spooner in this one, and Jose, of course, for all these takes. But I did want to know what Spooner thought about this. But let's roll. Let's roll with our first spot on the board here for me, and let me get the cash flow information, which I haven't looked at. Again, I know it's important for big games. I don't know whether to trust action. We're not getting anything from the odds logic board for a lot of these games, and do we really want to trust action in these small schools? So I've not looked at them. This will be a learning spot for me. Super true story in the house. Oh, it is your and Spoon's birthday today? I did not know that. Wow. Look at that. I did not know we have our guy celebrating a birthday rocking with us. Well, that's exciting. That is a good vibe. Here, let me copy and paste. Oh, yes. By the way, after CMAC got hacked, this is important. Jose has been hacked. So basically, if anybody asks you to hit a link, just never do it. Never, ever, ever do it. So that's important. Thank you, Dabby Cab, for mentioning that. I'm just copying and paste Twisted's action. But let's start going through, hacked. Wow, it's Spoon's birthday. And Super True's birthday. Wow. Super True, happy birthday, my friend. And Spooner going to be joining us on his birthday. This is wonderful. Okay, but let's roll into this Bryant UMass spot. Let's start with this Align history and discuss the plan. I do have 6 p.m. action, 6:30 action. I don't have as much 7 p.m. action as I usually do. And then I hammered the late action out in Cali pretty hard, which has gone okay for me. I don't want to get too excited. I am on UMass Lowell here at home against Bryant University. This moved back to a 5 an hour and 4 minutes ago. I don't like seeing that. I got a 5. Thought I was beating the line move. I got a 5 at minus 111 here on UMass Lowell, backing the Riverhawks here in Lowell, Massachusetts. Oh yes, that link is okay. That link. If it's a link that you've seen before, and happy birthday, Spoon Dog here, man. Okay. So let's roll here. Back to business. So UMass Lowell opened up at 5.5, dropped back to 5. So let's see what some of these sharp offshores. I saw a sharp offshore. Oh yes, that had this at 6 and opened at 6. This is all not very good. This is not very good. They've moved it to 5 as well. This is making me extremely uncomfortable here. Backing UMass. UMass coming off a win at Albany. Albany, not a very good team. They got destroyed at NJIT, which we will be talking about here shortly. We have Bryant coming off a home victory over Maine. And this was one of the rare spots where I thought this line was too big, and I moved on it. Jose, how are you, my man?
I'm nonplussed. I got hacked this morning. That was tough. I'm fucking 80 years old now, apparently. Looking on links and shit. But continue on.
Yes. Yes, that was a tough break.
Damn you, Connor. Damn you, Connor.
That was I had a couple friends go, do you see this message Connor just sent? Doesn't sound like him. But you thought, I'm going to support my friend Connor in his mission to take over Europe?
I just saw vote for me. Sure. Yeah, no problem.
You're a nice guy. You are a kind man. I'm
easily got.
So
if it's not something we've learned something on this program and along these years, Jimmy, I am easily had.
Yes. No, that I hear that. My heart breaks. My heart breaks here. UMass smashed Bryant January 8th, 77-63 in that one. It was just the second conference game for both these teams. And, Bryant does what it does, man. It just shot poorly from the 3-point line, 33%, got out rebounded. And usually I expect the other side of the coin when teams meet a second time. But I thought this was probably too big of a line for UMass at home. And that appealed to me. And maybe I shouldn't have let it appeal to me here. I moved on UMass Lowell. Let me take a look at the cash flow here for this spot. And I get to... oh, no. Oh, no. I think my... is it finally up?
You got hacked?
No, I just can't get... Let me fool around here and get into the... there we go. Okay, no, sorry. We're good. So here for this one, UMass Lowell right now, we're getting, as one would assume, 939 bets in and no information whatsoever, which I'm okay with. I'm on, but we'll ask Spooner. Spooner will be joining us here shortly. AM has Bryant +2 as the projection. It did surprise me here. Billy Friedrich says Bryant about to get smoked. Well, I like seeing that. That's my first game on the board. UMass Lowell -5. I hate seeing it move down from the 5.5 or the 6. But Jose, set us up for our next game here on the board. My second spot on the board here. Backing a team that our guy, Justin McKelvey, just cashed on. Set us up. We're in the jungle, baby. The jungle.
That's IU Indy, a.k.a. Ooey Pooey, versus Northern Kentucky. I can see why they rebranded from Ooey Pooey. Now, Northern Kentucky here, don't think we're going to get... Oh, we do have some line information here, which is nice. 53% of the bets and 88% of the money on IU Indy here. And as for where we have moved in this game, funny, you cannot find Northern Kentucky. Some places have Ooey Pooey, some places have IU Indy. What a pain. But this line opened up at 5.5 here, and I still see 5.5s, 5s popping up around the boards here. Do a quick refresh real fast just to make sure. Actually, yeah, more 5.5s than 5s, honestly. So line opened up at 5.5, and it is still there.
I got IU Indy here, plus 5.5 at minus 110. I see an improving basketball team like a Cleveland State. Now, we're going to talk about the Cleveland State game. I haven't moved on it as the line was moving away from Cleveland State, and I wanted to move on Cleveland State. They lost 81-72 to Northern Kentucky, and they won the first half 39-35. You see already that our guy Justin McKelvey is IU Indy first half plus 2.5. Here, the projection is Northern Kentucky minus 11.5, and says the under in IUPUI look good since I'm so far off. The projection is so far off here. In that first game, it was tight. This was a tight game. With 9 minutes left in the game, IU Indy was up 59-49. Up 10 points with 9 minutes left and lose the game by 9 points. So, you could say they don't have finishers. You could say they're weak offensively. There's lots of things you could say. Another thing you could say about IU Indy is they're playing much better basketball. They went to Oakland and beat them. I guess it started when they beat Robert Morris at home in overtime. They barely lost to Detroit Mercy by 3. They went into Oakland and smashed them, put up 100 points. Then they did not look good against the Colonials after beating them the first time in overtime and then going back to Robert Morris. They lost at Youngstown State. Then they took out Cleveland State, got their revenge at home 82-74. And then on Tuesday, they played Milwaukee and lost 92-88. And it was another game where they played, pretty well. They opened up as 1.5 point dogs, closed as 2.5 point dogs. It was another first half winner for IU Indy. And I am on the Jaguars here. That is my second spot on the board. Shout out to the Godfather in the house. But that is my second spot on the board. So I start with UMass Lowell as a favorite at around the same number. I'm on the Jaguars as a dog. Jose, my friend, let's head to Normal, Illinois, and set up Valparaiso Beacons, Illinois State Redbirds.
Wow, what a name. Normal, Illinois here. We are going there, a very average-looking place for Valpo versus Illinois State here. So very interesting game for us here. Valpo right now, we do have information thanks to Wager Talk here as of now, but we have 64% of the bets, 86% of the money on Illinois State here so far. And for where this line has moved, I'm seeing 9.5 openers, some 9s across the board, and Heritage showing 8.5 here for Illinois State here.
Yes, damn it. So there's no 8s?
There's not an 8. No, there's 8.5. Everywhere else is showing 9s. And by the way, shout out to Saturated, his hometown of Normal in Illinois.
Did not know that. Did not know that from the great Saturated. I'm on Valpo in this spot. I just think it's too many points. For me, I'm watching a team that's playing better basketball each day. It started with the loss to Belmont at home by a point. They played very well in that game, losing 78-77, and that snapped a 2-game losing streak. Valpo's already beaten Illinois State too, and there's a few spots where I just don't think the line makes sense that I've gotten off of the Rebenga thing. There's a lot of spots where I'm on the Rebenga, but they played Belmont extremely tough both times they played them. They beat Northern Iowa the way Northern Iowa plays ball, defensive, low-scoring game. They beat Southern Illinois. They lose by a point to Belmont. They beat Indiana State in overtime. They lose by 7 at Bradley. They beat Evansville in overtime. Now, that was Friday. I was on Evansville first half, and that cashed. Maybe that was a spot where they overlooked Evansville slightly. Then they went and beat Drake. This is a team that's won 5 of their last 7 games. When they first beat UIC in Illinois State, they were in the throes of a 5-game losing streak. I like this spot here for Valpo. I just feel like it's too many points. Matty Ice says Illinois State very good at home off a loss and in a revenge spot. This Illinois State team total over an Illinois State double result. Still, staying away from this 8.5 here. Jose, our guy celebrating our birthday, is ready to jump on with us. Thank you so much. Now, Jose, with our next guest, we won't get through all my action. So be ready to jump on and rock with us here when we bid adieu to our next guest. But thank you for filling in, and we will fight to get your X handle back. I'm sorry that this has happened, my friend.
Yeah, whatever. Fucking Elon.
There he is. There he is. Let's welcome him on his birthday. I didn't know it was his birthday, man. That sets a nice vibe for us. Please welcome the star of Walk-Off Wagers alongside Wine Time Sports and the star of now been hitting all about the hoops on Saturdays, the star of Betting with the Bag here on Thursdays, and the star of the Sauce Network Midnight Eastern Nightly. Please welcome Morgan Spooner to the show. Spoon Dog, happy birthday, man.
Hey, thank you, Jimmy. I figured the chat would wrap me out before I got on screen.
How old are you?
Turned 31 years old today.
Wow, 31. Oh, man.
Feel ancient, but young in some people's mind.
15 years on you. I got Spooner, happy birthday, man. That's exciting. It's life gets better. Life gets better. It just gets better, which is something that I didn't really expect. Maybe at some point it stops getting better. I mean, I can't answer for that. But right now, I believe that it gets better year after year after year as your family, ages alongside with you. It just things get more fun. How old's Wrigley now?
He's 7 years old.
Oh, that's dope. And Carter just celebrated his 5th birthday. It's fun. It's a very fun age, man. Fun age. Happy birthday to Mr. Morgan Spooner. Well, Spoons, let's get you some cash. Let's get you some winners. Let's start breaking down your card. And, man, did I think this was a very, very exciting game here because the line didn't make sense to me. And so you did what should be done here. You hammered the side that where you thought that you were getting a great deal. And I can understand this here.
I was really happy to wake up and see this line. I bet this at 125 when I went on live on the Sauce Network show. I was pulling up lines. It was 140 and 145 on the money line. Wow. So like it was ballooning, and I was really kind of scratching my head at this because I believe NJIT to be the better team. New Hampshire has one of their better players still dealing with an injury. He's a guy that regularly starts from him. He has played the last 2 games, but he's coming off the bench. That creates an issue for them. When NJIT and New Hampshire met the first time, New Hampshire's offense was able to make a really good run on NJIT after they had separated. And they did that just by hitting threes. NJIT plays a little bit of a shell defense and just driving right to the basket and then kicking out. They found some wide open shots. I think that's something NJIT's defense has worked on. If we look at their recent defensive efforts, Binghamton, UMass, Lowell, Vermont, this team is playing really well. I think NJIT at plus money is just absurd. I don't care if I lose it. I don't care if it's a fishy line. The only thing that sort of makes sense to me is that New Hampshire has one of their better players coming back. Keyshawn Robinson started most of the season for him. Played 19 and 20 minutes off the bench versus Bryant and Vermont, both losses for this team. And I just don't think he's 100%. I think they're trying to get him back ready for the America East tournament. It's a one big bid league, and it doesn't really matter. As long as you don't have one of the bottom seeds, you'll be fine. So I think this is an NJIT spot. I don't value New Hampshire's home court. This building is going to be next to empty. I can't say anything more than that. The line just didn't make a ton of sense to me.
8-2 in conference team, 8-2, going up against a team that just lost at Vermont by 23 points. And
Jimmy, these have been the fishiest lines all season. America East lines we've watched them move 6 points overnight, more than 6 points overnight. I'm just, if there's a fishy line and I want it, I'm betting it. I don't care. It doesn't make sense not to.
It is absolutely wild. Keisha is saying the same thing, that it just doesn't, that NJIT looks better. These teams did play in an 80-76 NJIT victory. New Hampshire took that first half, comfortably, and then NJIT took over. NJIT were 2.5-point dogs at home, so maybe that makes sense. Maybe this is based upon the statistical profile of the teams coming into the conference play.
I think model computer wise is half of the reason this number is. I think if you spit this out with a computer, you're going to get New Hampshire with the home court advantage built into that to be a 1 to 2.5 point favorite just about every time. It's hard to make a team like NJIT, even though they've played well in conference, a road favorite. You were just talking about IU Indy. That's a team that's really just like hit or miss. I have it pulled up in front of me. They have 8 different 0 to 12 point scoring droughts this season versus D1 opponents. That means they've let the opponent score 12 points before they scored a point. They also have 5 of their own 12-point scoring streaks against opponents. And a lot of these are in the same games. Like they're just either they're clicking or they're not. And NJIT was that way at the beginning of the season. But this team has found such a higher floor as the season's gone on. And it's really impressed me. They're going to be a shot to win this entire conference this season. They have some good athletes on this team. I don't understand the number. There's nobody hurt on this team. I spent some time trying to check into that.
The number's nuts. I have, not moved on it because I was just gravitating towards New Hampshire just because the line didn't make sense. But I stopped myself. Wanted to hear your breakdown. It will comfortably stay off. Let's roll on to the next spot on the board. We spoke about this game last night. Elon, Phoenix, UNC, Wilmington, Seahawks here. Let's go over the line history for this spot. This one pops off at 7 p.m. We have a bunch of 7 p.m. games now from our guy, Spooner. So let's grab this line history. God, I blew past it here. We have, UNC Wilmington playing very, very good in conference. We're sitting here with a 7.5. This opened up at 8. 2:57 p.m. An hour and 43 minutes later, it moved to 7. A point moved towards the Phoenix, and then it's come back a half point to UNC Wilmington, and it's not moved since 7:56 p.m. last night. So this has just been sitting there. From a total standpoint here, we have UNC Wilmington at 151. UNC Elon. This opened up at 153, 3:18 p.m. Moved to 152. At 9 this morning, it moved to 151. So we've got a 2-point move towards the under. Elon has lost 3 straight games since beating the Tribe. Speaking of the Tribe lost, or UNC Wilmington lost to the Tribe last game. Bounced back in a big way by beating Charleston on the road, which was impressive. These teams play again at March 3rd to close up conference play, so they have yet to play. Elon's lost 5 of 6 games here, coming off an 82-77 loss at home to Drexel. Take it away for us here, Spooner. Game to bet to on your birthday card.
Yeah, this is UNC Wilmington first half, -4, -110 for me. UNC Wilmington is, in my opinion, the best team in this CAA this year. They play a really good brand of basketball, and I think Patrick Wessler is one of the best players in the conference, easily in the top 3. So this UNC Wilmington team is playing an Elon team that just really struggles to come out of the gates. I kind of equate them to a team like Georgia, where like the first 5 minutes of the game, you just watch this and you ask yourselves, what are they doing? Because the first 5 minutes of the second half and the first 5 minutes of the first half do not look the same for these teams at all the last 10 games. And I just have been looking for a way to continue to back this UNC Wilmington team. And Elon is a good basketball team. I think 7.5 is a respectable number here. Ken Pom makes this number 8, but I think in the first half is when UNC Wilmington walks away with this. I didn't lay this number of 7.5 because I'm scared of what Elon will do. They've made some great second half adjustments, coming back in every single victory they have in conference so far, even that double overtime loss to Hampton. So I think this Elon team is a team that I'm just going to continue to look to fade in the first half, especially with a team like UNC Wilmington. William & Mary has had this team's number so far this season. William & Mary plays with a ton of pace. They have 2 conference losses to them on the season. They're their only conference losses. That's not something Elon and Billy Taylor really do. 184 tempo in the country. So I don't think they're going to give UNC Wilmington anything they can't handle. I think they're still going to be very locked in after that last home loss to William & Mary, getting to come home and play a team like Elon, who also has pretty stark home road splits. So I'm just looking to fade Elon here early. That's it.
You're being backed. Jose Perez in agreement. AM on the other side with Elon. Twisted 24-7 on Wilmington -7.5. And the over. Keisha looking at the over. Let's roll on. Stay in the CAA and talk about the Tribe. William and Mary on the road at the Northeastern Huskies. Lone time these teams match up this year. Northeastern in throes of a losing streak. William and Mary not playing very good basketball either. They have lost 3 of 4. Their one win, extremely impressive win over UNC Wilmington that you were just noting. Northeastern here in the throes of a 6-game losing streak. They've lost 9 of 10. Their only victory was at home versus Elon, 85-78. And they get a couple opportunities to play William and Mary over the next 2 weeks. This has been a funny line move. You almost caught it at the perfect time. This opened up at 5 at 3:18. An hour and 2 minutes later, it moved to 4. It was a 4, got to 4.5, then back to a 5, and then it's moved to a 6. So we've had the move, U-shaped movement, but now we've had a nice move to William and Mary, and now you must be very comfortable with the position that you have. From a total standpoint, we've already heard Spooner touch on the pace here of William and Mary. So we have a 170, one of the highest totals on the board. Opened up at 168, got up to 170 last night, went back down to 169, and then up to 170 again, a 2-point move towards the over. Take it away, Spooner, my friend. The floor is yours. Your next spot on the board.
Yeah, this is a nice buy low on this William and Mary team. This team is just a pest to play against. They're going to force a ton of possessions in this game. When they get the basketball, they look to score within 10 seconds of touching that ball. And it's very consistent. And as soon as the ball goes through the net, they're setting up a press. They have like 3 different presses they'll run throughout the game, 4 different situations. And it's just a really tough team to play against. They've dropped 3 of 4 now. Elon, Campbell, and Hampton, all teams that are much better than Northeastern, in my opinion. They beat UNC Wilmington not once, but twice. They also beat Hofstra before that. That Elon team, as I mentioned, they are a team that struggles in the first half. William and Mary had a nice lead on them at halftime and ended up blowing it completely. They were up 29-17 in the first half of that game. So that was a tough game on the road, a little bit of a letdown spot after playing 2 of the toughest teams in the conference. And then they had to play Campbell, one of those Nate Oates assistant coaches that is just really terrible to play against another team that plays with pace. And that's just not something that's going to come into play here. This Northeastern team is in a bad spot in the season. If we look at this team's starting lineups throughout the course of the year, they don't have a single starter starting in their last game or likely today that started the first game of the season. That's a terrible spot to be in, especially with a roster like Northeastern. They don't have a ton of NIL money. The guys sitting on the bench weren't supposed to play for a couple of years. And I just think this Northeastern team is a team we can pick on. I have the William and Mary -4.5. I thought the number was kind of head scratching short. I was scared I might be biting into something, but I had seen a 4 before. The 4s had disappeared. The sharper books had 4.5s, and I had to move on it. I like where the line's sitting now. It doesn't mean the bet's going to win or anything, but I don't see how Northeastern makes this a game.
And AM had the prediction William Mary -9.5. So you are in business here. Let's roll on to the next spot on the board. We have 2 of the beasts in the Metro Atlantic, and I'm very high on St. Peter's and Quinnipiac. There's 5 teams. You could even throw Fairfield in to make 6, but this is going to be a fun conference tournament. These are 2 very interesting teams in it. Marist Red Foxes at the Merrimack Warriors. Marist coming off of a loss, snapped their winning streak, lost to Fairfield. They had won 4 straight games. One of the losses before that, because they had a 4-game winning streak snapped by Merrimack back on January 19th, and Merrimack smashed them at Marist 68-55. Is there Rebenga in store here? Merrimack at the top of the conference right now at 12-2. They're a game up on St. Peter's. They've won 4 straight games. They're coming off demolishing Ryder. We spoke about that game when I said, look at this line. It's just ridiculous, isn't it? I mean, there was 2 spots in Metro Atlantic where there was massive favorites, and you said the Merrimack was more than capable of absolute. Oh, sorry, no, I'm talking. That was the Marist Rider game. It was Marist Rider, right? And you said Marist defense could hold them to 50 points, and they scored 52. And then what happened? Merrimack smashed Rider to 73-47. 4 straight wins. One win did include beating St. Peter's at home. Take it away for us here, Spooner. Marist Red Foxes, Merrimack Warriors.
This is going to be a great game. Second time these teams have met this season. Merrimack won the first matchup 68-55 on the road. A lot of times I would look for that Rabanga spot with a team like Marist. Marist has a defense that in conference ranks in the 99th percentile in all of college basketball. So this is one of the best defenses. You'll see it's currently statistically the best defense in the conference, but Merrimack's is the second, and Merrimack's defense is really good. Marist will run a man-to-man the entire game. Merrimack will run a zone the entire game. And if you're going to beat that zone, you got to offensive rebound pretty well. That wasn't something Marist was able to do in the first matchup. They're not a great offensive rebounding team. Merrimack shot the ball pretty well from 2, but just horribly from 3 in the first matchup. They went 4 from 17. I think that's something they can improve on. Marist also shot poorly from 3, but that's something that Merrimack's zone is designed to do. It's not a regular zone that keeps you out of the paint and forces you to shoot threes. It takes away the good 3-point looks. So you're not going to be able to get that versus Merrimack. So that means you're going to have to attack the basket, and they were only able to shoot 40%. Merrimack's got some really good interior defenders. They have the best freshman in the conference in Kavar Kennedy. He's a kid that can drop 30 points any given night, and I think he's going to really step up in a spot versus a defense like Marist. He had 20 points in that first game, shooting over 50% from the field. He played really well. I think he's in a better spot than he was at that point in the season. Marist kept this close for quite a while before Merrimack walked away with it, and I don't think the same thing's going to happen at home. This Merrimack home court environment is the best in the MAC right now, or MAAC. The last time I watched a game here, what is the, I think it's Red Panda, the lady that goes around on a unicycle, like kicking plates onto her head. That building was going nuts. I was like, you never see this in a matchup of this kind of between teams like that. So I think Merrimack's building is going to be nuts tonight. I think they're going to be really excited to have Marist, one of the top teams in the conference, coming in. And I think this game is going to be the same thing that happened in the first game. Merrimack wins by over 10 points. There was flat 3s on the board last night. They weren't at books that I had access to, and I was really hoping to get a flat half. But I also didn't want to take the 3.5. I feel like that possession between two teams like this could be really important. Within the range of outcomes is Marist making this a really good game, and it comes down to that last basket. So I didn't want to go beyond the 3 points. So I paid a little bit of juice, minus 122 for the 2.5.
We'll go over the line history on the side. This total in the first 7 hours that it was available went from 126 all the way up to 132. 6-point move. Now it's come back to 129, met in the middle. What did you think of that power move towards the over?
I don't understand it unless you're saying Marist's defense can't keep up with Merrimack. Merrimack totals are low. Like, you can go through that they're a team that generally has a lower total attached to them. Field goal attempts per game, they in conference only average 51 field goal attempts per game. Marist, a team that plays with a rather slow pace as well, averages 56. So, I mean, you're not going to have a ton of possessions with these two teams. I don't understand the movement to the over. That doesn't make a ton of sense to me, but it doesn't take a lot of money to move stuff in these markets. So I try not to make too much about early movement, especially before limits are opened or anything.
This line opened up at 3:18 p.m. at -2. An hour and 22 minutes later, this was a 4. About 20 minutes after that, went back to a 3.5. Then it stayed there for 14 hours, dropped to a 3. Flat 3. Now we're back at a 3.5. Overall, 1.5 move towards the Merrimack Warriors. Let's talk about your final spot of 5 here to review. Spooners on NJIT at +125. UNC Wilmington first half -4. William and Mary -4.5 -110. Merrimack -2.5 -122. And we move on to our final spot. We hit Hattiesburg, Mississippi, home of the Southern Miss Golden Eagles, hosting South Alabama Jaguars at Reed Green Coliseum. The Jaguars bounced back from that loss at App State by beating Buffalo. That was a fun Sun Belt, MAC. Those were
I
fun.
love how they did that. So
was
generally
great.
you put that like before conference play starts. And I mean, at that point, the teams don't have themselves figured out. So it's not a good like determination of what conference may or may not be better. At this point in the season, you know how good the teams are that are playing each other. Some teams took it more seriously than others. I know you and I battled on that Toledo game. That was a great game. Came right down to the end of it. I thought that was a great way to do it. I scratched my head at first. I was like, why would you do this in the middle of conference play? But I think that's how they should do all of those from now on.
It was really fun. The matchups were great. And South Alabama took out Buffalo 81-69, their fourth win in 5 games. This is their lone. Oh, no, sorry. They faced Southern Miss to close out the conference play, but their first meeting with Southern Miss. So we have South Alabama Jaguars winning 4 of 5. Let's talk about these Golden Eagles. Now, they also opened their season at Buffalo. So they, that was a long, long time ago, but they both have played Buffalo. They lost 85-79 to open their season. This is a team that had lost 5 straight games before beating James Madison at home. Followed that up with a 4-point loss at Marshall. And then they beat Kent State at home in that MAC Sun Belt battle. So now they face South Alabama Jaguars. Take it away, Spoons, on your birthday, your final spot of 5 bets. Take it away.
Yeah, I love watching this South Alabama team play. I've been against them and on them quite a few times this season. Here I'm on them again. This line opened up plus 2.5 last night. That's what I have, a plus 2.5 South Alabama. I stated on the show that I was looking at the money line. I think they win this game, but a lot of the losses that South Alabama has had have come down to really close games. A 1-point loss to North Texas, Texas State, a 2-point loss. They lost by 3 points to Louisiana and 57-65 to App State in their most recent one. So a lot of these games are coming down to the last possession if they don't win it. So I just wanted to have those extra points in my pocket. But when I break this down X's and O's wise, I think South Alabama is going to walk away with this. I believe they've won 7 or 8 straight games versus Southern Miss. That's notable to me because Richie Riley's been running this specific zone now for 5 or 6 years here. So this is a zone that Southern Miss's coach, who's been there the entire time, Jay Ladner, hasn't really figured out. And Southern Miss has really good players in it this year. Some athletes that can really just separate. Like, to be able to play a zone like that, you need some long bodies, and a 6'6" point guard in Chase Harris is exactly the guy to do it. I think Southern Miss is going to really struggle to score in this game. They get more points from the free throw line than anybody in this conference. In South Alabama, with that zone, they have the ability to, when they fall behind a defender, know that somebody else is going to be right there to help them, and they don't have to foul on that defender. They foul less than anybody in this conference. They foul bottom 10%, bottom like 5% in all of NCAA basketball. So I don't think the free throws that Southern Miss usually relies on to get their scoring started and some of their confidence going is going to be there. And I think South Alabama's zone is just a head scratcher until you figure it out. It's can create some really big scoring droughts. I think South Alabama can open up this game and have a comfortable lead for a while. In the second half, I could see Southern Miss clawing their way back in a little bit as they figure out the zone. But I think Richie Riley's got a really good team here. I think they're going to get another conference win, and I think this is going to be very comfortable. I don't think they should have been dogs in this matchup.
It's a very appealing breakdown here. Great to see you, Jacqueline. Billy Friedrich agrees, says South Alabama smashes. We've had a lot of wild moves. Well, not huge moves, but a ton of moves on this one. We had South Alabama opened up at plus 1.5 at 3:18 p.m. 4:20 p.m. they were plus 2.5. Never got back there. Got back to a 2 7 hours later. Went down to a 1 around midnight. Became a pick'em at 8 in the morning. Then back to plus 1. Then a -1. Juice towards them at 9 a.m. Now we're back at a pick'em, flat pick'em, 1.5 point move towards the South Alabama Jaguars. And from a total breakdown here, we have this right now, this 8:30 p.m. This is the latest game of Spooner's 5. We have a total at 136. This one opened up at 137, got up to 138.5 initially, dropped down to 135, now sitting 136, 1 point move to the under. That concludes Spooner's action. By the way, very quickly, side note, like I said, the American money is flying in now. So we've had another 20-cent move towards USA. USA minus 3.5 is now minus 200. The 6.5 is finally getting juiced to the over. So we had a 12-cent move to the over. So it's 123. We're just watching the American money pile in, and now finally the over money piling in. I'm going to be betting. Oh, yeah.
Is there any discrepancies in like books that are only available on like Northern American continents versus European continents in this? Like, I know there's like Chinese books that we solely have no access to. I would guess that like the European, I would guess there's a difference in some of that action.
There was massive differences last night in the odds from the offshores that are based upon, with more North American cash than 365. 365 had wildly different odds.
So, I know somebody in Germany that uses 365.
Mm-hmm.
They will have different odds than me on the same exact game, like, which is why I brought that question up.
Yes, and
I've seen it during baseball season quite a few times. I'm like, what?
I have a
They're
friend
like,
that
got
gets
it on 365 in the accent, and I'm like, no, it's not.
I have a friend that gets gifted nonstop, gifted bonuses, huge bets that I never get. And one time we were out with the kids and there was a live game going on and he was getting different lines than I was getting live. So obviously if you're not succeeding on their app, they're going to just give you juicier opportunities. So I was astonished.
Shout out Ballybet. I went in to check a line this morning. I had a $25 bonus birthday bet. That was the coolest offer I got from any of the books today. So shout out Bally. They got some great lines.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. You can get Latvia +4 at minus 130 offshore right now. You can get the under 7 at minus 152. I'm comfortable with the 6.5. I would like to be able to build my own 4. They're not giving us that opportunity here at this point. And look at that. Justin saying that Bet Rivers, the 6.5 dropped 5 cents as well. Okay. Let's roll on. Jacqueline, wonderful to see you. Those are Spooner's 5 bets. So Spooner, we did set up the first 3 games. I just Jose, I don't know if we have the graphics still for them, but I just want quick takes from Spooner here on them. The first game was Bryant, UMass, Lowell. I am on UMass Lowell. It's interesting. Both Valpo and UMass Lowell, I'm backing teams that already won the first round against their opponent, which is not something I do usually. This line's moved a point against me. We're heading back to the American East. I thought it was very expensive to back UMass Lowell. It surprised me and appealed to me. What do you think of me backing UMass Lowell hosting Bryant Bulldogs in Lowell, Massachusetts?
It was a spot I really liked, UMass Lowell as well. I thought the number was just a little bit big to actually play on it. I didn't feel like I had a huge edge on it, but Bryant is not as good of a basketball team as I think their recent record shows they are. They played some teams that were dealing with injuries. So on paper, you just see their recent body of work and you're like, oh, this team could hang. And I think UMass Lowell is a step above them. And I feel like the opposite's true for them. I feel like they've underperformed their expectations. So to be able to get a home game versus a team like Bryant, I think they should be able to handily win this game. I don't know, to be able to play this, I guess I wish I just had something that was closer to a single possession. UMass Lowell does not have a ton of offense that I trust to separate this game, but what I do trust is Bryant's offense to not be able to do anything. So I think you're on the right side in this game. I just couldn't get there myself.
I'm also backing the Indianapolis Jaguars here, a team that I liken to Cleveland State as a team that's improving. I would have said Citadel before that horrific performance last night, although I do want Citadel on Saturday against Mercer because I have a sickness. But Northern Kentucky, North Indianapolis Jaguars, I got the 5.5 here for the Jaguars. What do you think of this spot?
As I alluded to in that other breakdown about the 12-point scoring droughts and 12-point scoring runs for this IU Indy team, I mean, they're either pedaled to the metal or they're hitting the brakes. And I was trying to see if Kyler DiAgostino, one of their better players who's missed some time this season, kind of correlated with some of those scoring droughts because they have more scoring droughts than they do scoring streaks. And a little bit, but I mean, that's all fun and games till that last game versus Milwaukee when IU Indy had a pretty commanding lead. They could have started to walk away with that 53-44 in the second half, and they just never really hit it. Milwaukee's missing quite a few players. Still, their biggest big guy is out. I thought IU Indy could have won that game, and I think that's probably what's keeping me off it. And that's not something you should ever do. It's just the recent performance. They do have D'Agostino back. He came back in that Cleveland State game, in which they won handily 82-74. I think they can beat this Northern Kentucky team if they play a good game of basketball. And I think they can get blown out by 15 if they play a bad game of basketball. And it's just all or nothing with this IU Indy team. I think if I were going to be involved with this game, I would just be hitting the money line with them, because I don't know I don't trust them to like close that gap. If this is a 2-possession game at the end, I know they're just going to run up and down, check a bunch of threes. And if those threes don't go in, instead of the 6-point closing line we were at, it's now ballooned to 13 all of a sudden. Whereas that same spot, if those threes go in, IU Indy just walks away with this, because if IU Indy scores at their best ability, Northern Kentucky can't hang with them. And IU Indy plays a really fast pace. It's tough to know about this team. They beat Oakland, who's probably the best team in this conference. They were probably the favorite to win it at the beginning of the season. Wright State's right up there with them. They played 77-81 versus Wright State. They beat Oakland, so they can beat the better teams in this conference. And I feel like Northern Kentucky, they have a 192 sitting next to them on KenPom. I feel like that's just inflated by that early non-conference schedule. If we look at what they've done lately, they've lost 5 of 6 games. The only team they beat is Milwaukee. And we just talked about the injuries they've had. I lean IU Indy here on the money line just with that big plus money score, but it wasn't for me.
The final spot of games that we broke down before you got here, and then we'll move on to the rest of my card, was the Valpo, Illinois State Redbirds. I think I jumped the shark a little bit. I could have waited. I guess I saw the line moving quickly towards Valpo, and I got in when I should have just seen, how it reacted once it dropped a number. It's one thing when the number drops. It's another thing when you want to see what is the reaction, and I didn't wait, and I should have waited. Now we're back at 9. God, I timed this horrifically. Terrible. Sitting here with an 8. We have our guy Matty Ice very confident in the Redbirds bouncing back off that loss. I've seen Valpo play this team tough. I think Valpo is playing much better basketball, but I timed this poorly and nervous about it. What are your thoughts here, Beacons, Redbirds?
So just need to put it out there for context. I don't feel like there's a team I have a worse handle on than Valparaiso in all of NCAA basketball. My lean would be to Valparaiso here. This is a team that's improved a lot, in my opinion. In past years, this was a team you could only bet at home and fade on the road. And maybe that's still a little bit true. They have more wins at home than they do on the road in conference, but you'd expect that out of just about any team. They have shown the ability to show up on the road with wins against Indiana State and Drake in conference play. They're coming off that win versus Drake on the road. That's generally not something I expect Valparaiso to do. So back-to-back wins, 3 out of 4 now. I kind of feel like it's a little bit of a high spot for Valparaiso, but the line doesn't reflect that. We have 9 points here, and KenPom makes this 71-63. So if anything, this line is showing respect to Illinois State. Illinois State's a really good team. They're coming off a loss to Evansville, so maybe it's a little bit of a buy low there, but I trust this team to win games. I don't trust them to blow teams out. Murray State 70-65 win. They have blown out some of the worst teams in conference, but they've already lost this Valparaiso team, and they lost to that Indiana State team. They lost to Southern Illinois. They lost to Belmont and Evansville. As good as I thought Illinois State would be from returning so many players from last year's team, I feel like this team's kind of been overvalued for a big part of the season now. They're sitting there at 16-9 in conference. Valparaiso already's got 1 on them. I'm sure they'd love to get a second. My lean would be to Valpo, but this isn't a team I have a good handle on, and I don't want to change anyone's opinion with that.
Nervous about the line movement. Thank you for going over those spots here. The first spot here that I want to talk about with you, I haven't moved on yet. line's been kind of bouncing around, and I just wanted to hear your take because Cleveland State's been very good to me. Cleveland State Vikings were the Wolstein Center in Cleveland, Ohio. They're hosting the Robert Morris Colonials. Robert Morris 16-10, 8-7 in the horizon. Vikings 10-15, 6-8 in the horizon. This opened up with Cleveland State +4, and then they went down to 3. When I was thinking of moving on them and queuing it up, the line was moving against me. And so I stopped. I just stopped at that point. It moved to 3.5 at 9:30 a.m. And then it moved to a 4.5. So the line at that point is moving towards the Colonials. It's back to a 4. So we're right back where we started. So, it's not a I could easily, go back. I mean, they just lost to IU Indy. It snapped their winning streak. They've been playing more than the sum of their parts. This total's a 152. It opened up at 154.5, got all the way down to 151.5 before getting back up to 152. And look, there's not much for me to say other than that 5-game winning streak came on the heels of a 4-game losing streak. They're playing good basketball. Youngstown State, they went to Wright State and beat them, went to Green Bay and beat them, went to Milwaukee and beat them, then took out Oakland at home. I mean, these are tough teams to play against. They're making me money. I wasn't in them on Saturday, but IU Indy took them to task. Here we are hosting Robert Morris here. They closed the conference play facing Robert Morris. What do you think about my thoughts on possibly moving on the Vikings?
I'd like to get there with Cleveland State too. I feel like it's a little bit of a buy high at this point. I hit them with a nice money line here recently. I want to say I got like plus 300 with them. This Cleveland State team has been very friendly to me too. Robert Morris is a team that I had higher expectations for coming into the season, but the last couple of games, they're starting to show that. They beat Wright State, who's one of the better teams in the conference, just won on the road and beat Youngstown State. That's something that they've had trouble with. Robert Morris hasn't played well on the road. They lost to that IU Indy team already this season in conference on the road. They lost to Milwaukee already this season on the road. Purdue, Fort Wayne. So not necessarily the best teams. And the way that Cleveland State's playing right now, I mean, you got to consider them a top 5 team in the horizon, even though their record doesn't reflect it. Rob Summers has them playing really good basketball. Andrew Toole has been here for a long time at Robert Morris now. Generally has this team playing really well, but I don't see it this year. I think we get a nice little sell high off that. I like where you're at with Cleveland State, but it's still just the 5 wins in a row. I think Cleveland State, had they not won those 5 games, we'd be looking at a number probably over 2 possessions, like maybe a 7 even with Robert Morris, especially after those 2 wins versus Wright State and Youngstown. So to only be getting like 4 here, I feel like, I mean, it's an efficient number. I feel like Cleveland State should be able to keep this between 1 to 2 possessions, and I don't think there's a lot to be made here. Again, if I was going to do something with it, just hit the money line, because this is a team that is exceeding expectations. Robert Morris has under-exceeded them all season. You're going to give them plus money again at home. It's probably a decent shot.
I'm very interested in adding it here. Lucky Lefty was thinking Cleveland State first half money line. Let's roll on to bets I've made here. And I mean, there's teams that I've gravitated towards, Cleveland State being one of them. There's a bunch of teams on my card that have been playing their best basketball of the year. And unfortunately, some of these teams have horrific records. And Chicago State Cougars are one of those basketball teams. They've been playing very good. They lose at Mercyhurst by 2, come back home, beat Mercyhurst 78-74. So there's, a Mercyhurst team that's 7-5 in conference play, which has them tied for second, because everybody chasing the Sharks in the NEC. So then they go to New Haven. You've talked to us about that, the strength of New Haven's defense. They go, Chicago State beats them 63-57. Then they come home and they take on St. Francis. I know St. Francis is a weaker team here in the conference, but they take them out 80-75. Now, I don't like fading teams that are coming in off of going up against the top team in the conference, and that's what Stonehill is doing. It's second straight loss, 61-54 against LIU. This is their fourth straight road game. Even that, it's not like they're on the road for this entirety. They're coming back, each time. They played Chicago State at home back on January 10th. Game went to overtime. They beat Chicago State 85-82. And this line is now moving against me. We've had a 1-point move towards Stonehill. AM's projection is Stonehill minus 3.5. If you look at the season as a statistical profile, I get why anyone would be on Stonehill. But over the last 5 games, I see the Cougars playing their best basketball of the year. This opened up as a flat pick'em. It's now a +1 at minus 105. The -1 is minus 115, for Stonehill. So let's take a look at what I got. I picked up Chicago State +1.5 at minus 106. So I'm not that upset at where the market is right now. Tell us your thoughts here. Chicago State Cougars at the Jones Convocation Center, Chicago, Illinois, hosting Stonehill Skyhawks.
I'm kind of torn with this game. Stonehill is a team that I just feel like has been fraudulent in NEC play so far this season. They're sitting at 6-6, and I feel like this is a team that should be 3-9 at best. They have 2 overtime wins. One of them was versus Chicago State at home. So I feel like that plays a big role into this number, because I feel like without that, this should be Stonehill laying points on the road, but maybe some of this is built into Chicago State's recent success. They've now won 3 of 4. Mercyhurst is one of the better teams in this conference. They beat New Haven. They beat St. Francis. One thing that's in common with almost every win except that New Haven win, and New Haven's gym I never played in a high school gym as small as New Haven's gym. Turn in the NEC app just one time and look at a New Haven basketball. There's like 4 rows in the stands. It's wild. So outside of that one New Haven win, every win has come in Chicago. The Loyola win on the road, obviously in Chicago. All the other wins at home. St. Francis is a bad team. I feel like they got lucky there versus Mercyhurst. I feel like you're kind of buying high on Chicago State. You should be getting 3 points, in my opinion, with Chicago State, with the level of basketball that Stonehill's played. And if that was the line, I'd be ready to play Chicago State, but I don't think this should be close to a pick 'em. I'm sorry, I missed the line that you got, but the Stonehill team hasn't, I haven't had a good read on them. I've expected them to play less good basketball than what they have so far.
I got the +1.5 minus 106. I understand it's going to be a stressful night. Let's roll on. We stay in
that first game.
Say what, my man?
Did you check what the line was in that first game by chance?
Which first one?
I imagine Stonehill was favored by a few points with Chicago State on the road.
Yeah, I can get it right here. That was Stonehill at home, opened up as 4.5-point favorites, closed as 4.5-point favorites.
So that makes this line just about right. You do small home court advantage, move it to neutral, then do the opposite home. I guess this line's right. I guess I'm just being greedy, thinking we should get more than that with Chicago State, but I don't know. Them off 3 or 4 wins. This is a tough roster, and this gym will be empty.
We have more action. It won't be a hot ticket in Chicago tonight. We have more action coming in from both Robert Cherry as well as Billy Friedrich, and a couple of those spots we are going to be discussing. He is on South Alabama with you. A couple of these spots we're going to be discussing here on the show. Billy, thank you for sharing with us. So, Twisted and AM talking about the epidemic of overvaluing home court, and we head to Staten Island, home of the Wu-Tang Clan and the Wagner Seahawks.
Wait just for a second. I'll be listening.
Sure, my man. So we have Wagner hosting Long Island University Sharks, and we talked about how far and away they've been in the NEC, dominating the NEC. 10-1 are the Long Island University Sharks. We will see if we see them come March Madness. And they've not been making anything look easy. Let's pull up their profile here quickly. Even though they're sitting here 10-1, the games aren't margin victories by the Sharks. They beat Stonehill at home by 7. They beat New Haven at home by 5. They went to Central Connecticut and, it absolutely destroyed them, 80-59. They also destroyed Lemoyne at home. So some of these wins have been big ones. They were supposed to face Wagner early in the year. They didn't. This is a good one for you guys because it was postponed on January 26th because of weather. This is a good one because these guys play against each other again on Monday. So close proximity for a home and home. LIU goes to Wagner. Saturday night they go to New Haven. Then they come home and face Wagner, and then they head out on the road again. That seems like a real nice spot on Monday to back Wagner, depending on what happens here in this game. But look, it's hard to poke holes in LIU. They've won 5 straight games. They've won 10 of 11, and they're playing good basketball. And Wagner here, Staten Island. Wagner coming off that loss, Central Connecticut. They beat Lemoyne at home. They beat Fairleigh Dickinson at home. And then there was a bunch of tight games. Every game here, the biggest loss was 7 points. They lose by 2 to Lemoyne. They lose by 1 to Mercyhurst. They lose by 2 to St. Francis. They're in all of these games. And I think that Wagner can be in here in this one. Shout out to Sweaty Butcher in the house. Let's grab the line history here. This opened up with Wagner plus 7.5. Then it moved to 7 here. The 7 was juiced. I got a 6.5, flat 6.5. We have 6.5s across the board right now. There's still a 7 here, but I'm looking at 6.5s. The 6.5 over at this very sharp book is juiced to minus 115. So this line seemingly moving towards the Seahawks here in Staten Island. It's not fun fading a 10-1 conference team. This total opened up at 139, now 141.5. This did drop as low as 138. I'm backing the Wagner Seahawks here. Should I be extremely concerned?
I think this is a really difficult game because you have to consider this with that matchup right on deck between these two teams. So this is one of those games that I could see a blowout happening because if Wagner doesn't have their best punch ready right at the beginning, they might not be wanting to throw it because they're going to want to keep that in the bag. Any out of bounds plays, just different presses, different looks you can throw at them. You might want that for that second game that you're going to have at home, a game that you think you have a better chance to win, in my opinion. I don't know. This is difficult. I like LIU much better on paper. Just 7 points in a conference like the NEC is generally hard to do. LIU has shown the ability to do it versus some teams, but they lost to Lemoyne, 3-point win versus Stonehill, 5-point win versus New Haven. I think Wagner probably has the ability to keep this close, but it's a weird spot with the game right on deck, playing twice in less than a week. And they'll play the 12th, 14th, and 16th. That's a wild schedule spot. I'm sorry, I get the home and road mixed up. I guess LIU plays the home spot.
The one home game sandwiched in from a bunch of road games, which generally is a terrible spot for basketball teams. So, we'll see if that Monday, if Wagner gets blown out, we want to back him there. I did move on Wagner plus 6.5. Let's move on to another spot that's being talked about here in the chat. Stony Brook Seawolves, 15-10, 7-5 in the CAA. The Towson Tigers, 13-12, 5-7 CAA. We're Towson, Maryland for this one. Towson coming off a horrific loss at Hofstra. Just ugly loss. Their third loss in 4 games. And it was very difficult for me, when I was capping Towson. They were down 46-20 at the half. They shot 30% from the field and 58% from the free throw line. This is, a team as 4.5-point dogs that got absolutely dominated by Hofstra. And so I bet them first half here. I bet them to come fired up and get shot out of a cannon here. Towson first half, first half worked yesterday, and I'm hoping this will too. This is their first meeting with Stony Brook here. They face Stony Brook again on March 3rd to close out the conference season. So I got the first half for Towson -3. It was a flat -3. I had to pay for it. It was -118, which I don't really like. But let's go over the line history here for this one and see what our guy Spooner thinks about the Towson spot. We only have Spooner for 12 more minutes, so I got to work quickly. This total opened up at 133. It's now a 134.5. From a spread perspective here, Towson's a 6. I see a 6.5. I also see a 5.5. This opened up at 5.5 and moved to 6 an hour and 3 minutes ago. And when we get to the first half, which is what I'm banking on here to back Towson after just a horrific performance, I see 3.5s at some books. I see a juice 3 here at -115. What are your thoughts here backing Towson to bounce back against the Seawolves in the first half in Towson, Maryland?
It's a nice buy low, sell high. I feel like Stony Brook has exceeded expectations for most of this season. The Seawolves have done really well on the road. Wins at Northeastern, Campbell, and Elon in back-to-back games. That was a gauntlet that they ran through. So I'm not necessarily trying to fade them on the road. Maybe that's part of this, but on the opposite side of this, Towson is a team sitting here at 5-7 in conference. This is a team a lot of people expected to be one or two in this conference coming into the season. So for them to be sitting here at 5-7 is a little bit head scratching. Ken Palm makes this number 4, a 66-62 victory for Towson. So for the books to have a 5.5 here indicates that they have more respect than your average computer model would for Towson. And that's because Towson's been playing better basketball. They've dealt with some injuries throughout the course of the season. Tyler Tejada had missed a game here recently in conference play and just came back in that Hofstra game, came off the bench 26 minutes. Obviously a disgusting loss for them versus Hofstra, but he's able to get some good minutes out there. I think that's a good sign for them moving forward. He's a big part of this offense. I think this team is probably getting healthy at the right time of the season. Pat Scary's a really good coach, so I don't expect this team to finish sub 500 and to have a Stony Brook team coming in here above 500. I wish the number was lower in Towson. I mean, you could get a smaller number, but it is what it is. I think this is a definite Towson spot. I'm just not on it.
I hope I can get that to the window. Let's talk about the next spot on the board here. Spooner, thank you for joining us here on your birthday. I, in St. Charles, Missouri, am fading the Lindenwood Lions. I'm on the UT Martin Skyhawks. I got the Skyhawks at -113 on the money line. Here's another team. They'd won 11 of 12 games before losing at home to Morehead State, 61-55. It was a very ugly performance by them. And, you know, this is a team that delivers. UTM had 22 points in the first half. They shot 26% from the field and 15% from three. You see some teams shoot a low number from three and they go, 3 of 17. UT Martin shot 6 of 39. 6 of 39 as 8.5 point favorites. It was just a debacle. And I only have them full game here on the money line. Maybe I should back them, first half as well. I'm doubling up has really hurt me this year, so I should back away from that. Let's see where we're sitting right now for UT Martin. This is am I on? Sorry, am I on the first half? Sorry, let me quickly move over to full game. Here we have UT Martin sitting here. I hope at a pick'em, some -1s, a lot of pick'em. So it's a -114. They opened up at +1.5 at -110. Going over those stats of what they did last game makes me want to add to this. What are your thoughts here, UT Martin, Lindenwood Lions?
Difficult game for me. Jeremy Schulman's done a really good job assembling this UT Martin program over the last couple seasons, just bringing in foreign national player after foreign national player. Team's really good. They're not the healthiest they've been all year, but they do have most of their starters, important players, all playing again at this point in the season. That Morehead State game, as you mentioned, too, they shot the ball just horribly. UT Martin's a team that relies solely on their defense, sitting in the 100th percentile in the last 5 games in conference play compared to other teams in their conference play, 99th on their full conference regular season schedule. Right in the middle of the pack with their offense, but that defense is what allows them to be good. They play with a slower pace, averaging 63.5 possessions in conference, and that's something that Lindenwood is kind of on the opposite end of. Their pace has been 72.3 possessions per game averaged over the last 5 conference games. So it's going to be a back and forth. Lindenwood also relies on their defense. They rely on their defense to create fast break points, and UT Martin turns the ball over a lot when they're not playing well. 17.5% in conference play on the season. That is not a good number, but Lindenwood does the same. And I said UT Martin has a really good defense. They also get 14 points a game in conference. So this is going to be a back and forth game. To me, this is not going to be what team wins it. It's going to be what offense loses it. One of these offenses is going to have a hard time scoring on the other defense. They're going to look really, really bad trying to get decent shots, and it's going to get opened up. I think there's a large range of outcomes. I like UT Martin a lot this season. I love that defense. That's not the first time I've seen them look absolutely horrendous on the offensive end versus Morehead State. So I wouldn't be shocked to see it again on the road. But, you know, we've talked about this so much with the Undoing Project. After you have a really just like bad outcome, something especially that might be an outlier, you're generally going to regress to the mean. And the mean is shooting 30% from 3 or 33% from 3. And I think that's a much more realistic outcome for UT Martin. I think their defense keeps them in this game. And I like your side of the bet here. I just wasn't ready to pull the trigger with that just large range.
That's a hell of a breakdown here on the OVC spot. So it's 155. We have you for one more game, I would assume, here. So
how many you got?
Too many. But if I could pick the spots I really want to ask you about if we had you for 2 more games.
Yeah, just pick your favorite games here. We can do a couple minutes past. It'll be fun.
Okay, well, let's, Jose, we're going to skip a couple. We're going to skip ahead here. Let's talk about arguably the big one on the slate. Memphis Tigers 12-11, 7-4 in the American at the North Texas Mean Green, 13-11 and 4-7 in the American, the Super Pit in Denton. You know, it feels like, you know, after a tough year that Memphis has found themselves. And I backed them here in this one. Let me just grab it here. It looks like this line is not moving with me. It was Memphis opened up at -1, got up to a -2, and then around start of the show there was a pretty big move towards North Texas. Now we're sitting at a -1 at -114. So it still has moved towards North Texas since the beginning, but this is disappointing. Where I could have waited a little bit longer before. You know, again, the line moves and then see the reaction from the market. That's something that I didn't do here. So Memphis has looked pretty good. They've looked pretty good. They won 3 of 4. The last 2 games were really nice. The only loss in that group was at home to Tulane by 2 points. Some of these wins have been, you know, margin impressive wins. Now they've already beaten North Texas 57-48 back on New Year's Eve. They're playing North Texas here again. I moved on Memphis Tigers. What do you think of this spot?
This was the side I leaned to last night when I looked at this game. North Texas has a really good defense, and this is a team that's known to play much better at home than they are on the road. But a lot of the reputation built by North Texas was built by another coach who's no longer here. Robinson is a good head coach. I have high expectations for him. He ran a good program in Cleveland State. They're playing really good branded defense as well this year, but this team offensively is just absolutely challenged. If Memphis can come out and score the basketball, I think they can separate and win this game handily. I expected North Texas to open up as bigger favorites. Looking at some of the models, just about everybody has Memphis as 1 to 2 point favorites, so they didn't necessarily agree with my assessment, but I thought North Texas should have opened up as 3.5 point dogs. This team can't score, and these teams already met this season. North Texas played Memphis the only like thing I could see from that game that gives North Texas a real chance in this game was their ability to create turnovers. Created 20 turnovers from that Memphis offense. If they could turn more of those turnovers into offense, maybe North Texas has a chance for this. But as I said, North Texas, they can't score themselves, and they wound up with 18 turnovers versus Memphis's defense. This is the Super Pit. This is one of the better home court advantages in the AAC. This building will be packed for Memphis coming into town. So there's going to be a real home court advantage here, and maybe North Texas finds a way to channel that into some points. But this line didn't make a lot of sense to me. I thought Memphis should have opened up as bigger favorites. I don't have the best luck with betting Memphis as a favorite, and enough things kind of didn't correlate for me that I stayed off this, but I lean Memphis under a possession.
Then I'd like to ask you about the lone game left that I have yet to bet. And I just saw Billy Friedrich on him. The UT Arlington Mavericks I had queued up and I stopped. 14-9, 6-5 in the WAC at Abilene Christian. Wildcats 10-13, 2-8 in the WAC. Moody Coliseum in Abilene, Texas. You know, I was confused by this line. I initially thought, you know, UT Arlington should be a bigger favorite. And it looked as if the books agreed with that for a short period of time. This line opened up UTA -1 with it less than an hour is a -2. Then it got back to a pick 'em. It's sitting here at -1 right now for UT Arlington. So there's been, you know, no movement on the spot. They're coming off 3 straight losses. You know, the last 2 in Utah to Utah Tech and Utah Valley, 3 straight losses. One was in overtime. One was in double overtime. Abilene Christian in a real legitimate losing streak. They have not looked good. UTA already beat them at home 82-72. It feels like an angry group coming off 2 straight losses in Utah. They came back after the Utah Valley game. And now they have a one-off here against Abilene Christian before they have 3 straight at home. I was very, very interested in backing UT Arlington. What do you think of this spot?
I like UT Arlington here too. You mentioned the overtime and double overtime loss back-to-back. That double overtime loss came to Utah Tech on the road, and Utah Tech has turned it on in conference play. That team is sitting 7-4 in conference, and it has been a really hard building to walk into and get a win. I think UT Arlington was really impressive when they went on the road and got that win. So they got that payback from the first time built into that double overtime loss there. I think Abilene Christian is a significant step down in competition from the last 3 teams they played. Utah Tech has a 193 sitting next to them, and they're the worst team. And I think that 193 is fraudulent at this point. With their current play, they're easily a top 150 team, especially when they're playing conference opponents like this. Abilene Christian has a 255 sitting next to them. They're sitting 2-8 in conference play now. They started 2-1, so they just dropped game after game, and some of these have been tight affairs, but I don't have any faith in Abilene Christian right now. Why is this number so short? I have question marks about this. KenPom makes this number 3. I think Bart Torvik makes it 4. Why are we seeing a short number like this? This is one of those head scratchers that in my mind tells me Abilene Christian's going to show up. This isn't one of those like their last chance to get a victory in conference or the last chance to get a victory at home kind of things. They play Tarleton State at home right after this. They play UT Arlington again this season at home. So I think there's better spots. I don't know quite what to make of this line. This is a weird conference where you play each other quite a few times. So they will have to face UT Arlington 3 different times. So you're going to ask UT Arlington if they're the better team to beat an opponent 3 times. Maybe that has something to do with this line being so short, but they hold punches for that 3rd matchup. I don't know. This is a confusing game to me, but I do lean UT Arlington as well.
No, but I'm right with you. The line doesn't make sense, and I as much as I think Arlington's the better team.
You talk about how hard it is, like in any sport, like baseball, to beat a team 3 times in a row, beat a team multiple times in a season. in conference play to have to beat a team 3 times and then potentially have to play them in the conference tournament again. If you're the better team, you don't want to win all 3 conference games and then have to face a lesser team in a winner take all tournament, like one and done kind of setting. That's really bad. So I could see the benefits of kind of holding your punches.
Oh, it's a great breakdown. I know the plan. I'm going to stick to my action at this point. Spooner, on your 31st birthday, thank you for joining us, man. A giant happy birthday from all of us here at Pub Sports Radio. Thank you for all of your hustle. The chat, man, selfish group asking for a birthday pick. You guys should be giving Spooner the birthday pick. You shouldn't be asking for a birthday pick from him. It's his birthday. They want from you, Spooner. There's a lot of wanting. Is there a spot on the board that you like better than others?
This is so tough because most of the lines moved in my favor last night, and I hate giving out a stale line or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think the best line on the board right now is NJIT money line. I think this team should be favored by a possession to 2 right now, and I think they're not. I think that's funny. If you want to tell me American East action is where it's at, and NGIT and a fishy line, I'll dive right into the stink. It hasn't hurt me that much this season yet. You get some, you lose some, but I think this is a really good spot. NGIT, UNH is just overvalued here recently, in my opinion.
NJIT, the birthday pick from Morgan Spooner. Spooner, thank you for your time, my man. I will be in touch. Have a great night. Get that cash, and thank you for all your hard work, my man.
Good luck to
There he is, Morgan Spooner with the birthday pick. It is the Highlanders of NJIT. Why does Peter not like that picture? Jose, what is there not to like about it?
I don't know. He has a significantly less hair now, so who knows?
It's a great picture. The man doesn't like it. The man doesn't like it.
You guys are back next week, right? We
are back. Loshak and the Bag are back in business next Tuesday here. We have been watching this all very, very, very closely, and we found the limit. When last night Latvia plus 3.5 was plus 130, then it got to plus 135 when the show started. It moved to plus 145 during the show. It moved to plus 165 a little while ago. It's back at plus 145. The over 6.5 at the beginning of the show was minus 106. Moved up to minus 118. Moved up to minus 125. It's back to minus 118. So I think it's time to move on both of these. You know, I can get Latvia plus 4 offshore. So I need to decide whether or not I want the 4 or the 3.5. And I think the 4 at minus 128 is better than the 3.5 at plus 145, honestly. I want that push and play. It's a very expensive push. I need to sit with it a little bit longer, but I am going to be on Latvia and the under. Latvia and the under. So I will find that out here. Sweaty Butcher says that he heard about your Twitter account. Said just want to say at least it didn't get Coach Marley.
The people wouldn't think I was hacked at that point. They just think that's business as usual. Sweaty, so that's
man. Steve G says Latvia gonna get spanked. So yeah, I get it. Look, this is just my plan, Steve G, of fading the favorites through round 1 and betting unders, and unders have worked a little bit better than fading the favorites at this point. Justin McKelvey took that goal with 6 seconds left by Canada. I mean, I'd be sitting here nicely up in the Olympics with that swing at plus money, but with Czechia first half. So that's my plan. It'll be the plus 4. I'm going to wait a little bit longer here. My alarm's going to go off here in 3 minutes. So I'm going to set it again here for 2:30. Give it a little bit more time here before I move. But yes, the plan is Latvia plus 4. The under 7 got hammered, by the way, at this offshore here. So those are the two moves that I will make, and I will be making them here shortly. That 6.5, under 6.5 was plus 100 there for a minute. No longer. Jose, my friend, let's get back to work and go over the last few games here on my action. And we start with Cal Baptist, the Lancers. We got Sir Lancelot at the Southern Utah Thunderbirds. We're in Cedar City, Utah. Why don't you set a table for us?
Sure. Cal Baptist here. Let me tell you guys right now. Let me refresh my market pages real quick. And let's find out if they have a market in this game. No side or total information here, both blank for our friends at Cal Baptist. But I can tell you this opened up at a 6.5 towards Cal Baptist, and it's moved down to 5.5 at BOL, 6 at Bodog, but 5.5 everywhere else.
Well, I got a plus 6, so that's a nice thing. Unfortunately, I'm going up against Billy Friedrich, which I don't want to do. Billy Friedrich on Cal Baptist minus 5.5. I'm on Southern Utah. Southern Utah here. They've been pretty good to me so far this year. I know there's a lot of spots where we talk about a lack of home court advantage. The Utah Techs and the Utah Valleys and the Southern Utahs, they do get a crowd out for their games, enough of a crowd at least. We have seen these two teams play already. Southern Utah went to Cal Baptist. Shout out to the Nutflush Allen family who live very close to Cal Baptist. Both teams shot terribly. Cal Baptist did take care of business. Cal Baptist was 14.5 point favorites. 14.5. They won by 3. The game was in peril through a lot of it. It was very close. With 5 minutes left, it was a tie game. And so I don't see why Southern Utah can't keep it close here. Okay, you took over 1.5 goals. Okay, I got you, man. I got you, Justin. Steve G shouting out U.S. women's hockey. They look very, very strong. Hurt that Poulin got hurt for Canada, but I'm not sure how much it would have mattered. So I am on Southern Utah plus 6. The line is, 8.5 points different from what we saw the first meeting. And it's more of Southern Utah is playing good basketball. At the time these teams met, Southern Utah hadn't got a win in conference play. We've seen them look good at home court. They had a 3-game winning streak there. It was snapped. They lost to UT Arlington. Then they beat Abilene Christian. And then they lost at home recently by 3 points to Tarleton State. And, Tarleton State's not a very good basketball team. I think this is a good spot for Southern Utah to bounce back. I took the plus 6 here. We have Nicholas Handy on Austin Matthews anytime goal. So I'm on Southern Utah Thunderbirds plus 6. Jose, let's roll on to La Tech Bulldogs and our friend Deacon Mike's Missouri State Bear.
Shout out to Deacon Mike indeed here. Missouri State opened up at minus 7. Unfortunately for our guy Deacon, they're all the way down to minus 5, minus 4.5 here for them now. So that's not a good sign for them here. We have 72% of the bets and 90% of the money on La Tech here, Jimmy.
Yeah, the line is moving towards them. I was late to the party here. It was a really nice home and home with Sam Houston State. They looked bad on the road, and they bounced back and delivered at home. Sam Houston is a tough team. Missouri State's been playing tough teams. They come off Sam Houston, Jacksonville State, and Liberty, and they almost took out Liberty at Liberty. Liberty undefeated in conference play. Missouri State put everything together to get that victory and could not. And I think La Tech can be in this game. Again, maybe if it wasn't such a violent market move, I wouldn't have jumped to wanting to back La Tech. It's just such a blatant move. I mean, this line's moving so heavily towards La Tech. And I got in late. I got in very late. I'm on La Tech plus 5 at minus 110. Winners of 3 of their last 5, winners of 5 of their last 8. And I think that they can menace here. This is their first meeting with Missouri State. They play Missouri State again Thursday, February 26th. So La Tech Bulldogs for me on the road in Springfield, Missouri. We've already hit the Memphis game, Jose, and UT Arlington. So we go right to Big West action. And I bet 5 Big West games here. My night is heavily dependent on the Big West. And Big West has been pretty good to me. It's a tricky and a projection 4 a.m. La Tech plus 3.5 in the 129. The Big West has been good to me. It's a very tricky conference that we've been capping for years and years. I feel like I got an okay handle on it. We'll see, because I liked so many spots in the Big West. So my night late is going to be very intense come 10 p.m. Eastern. Jose, set a table for us here. We have Billy Brisbane joining us after these Big West games for the NBA. Set a table because we start in Bakersfield, California.
Yep, let's take a tour of the California University system here with Cal State Bakersfield versus Hawaii here. We have, let's find out if we have any market information. We have 85% of the bets and 69% of the money on Hawaii here. So a lot of bets on Hawaii here, not as much money. This opened up at 13, has gone down to 12 here for Hawaii. Opened up at 13 like BOL and now down at 12 there, for example.
This is a uncomfortable bet. I'm on Cal State Bakersfield and I got to 12. Cal State Bakersfield's lost 8 straight games. They did beat UC Davis on the road. They almost beat UC Irvine at home earlier. They beat UC Riverside at home. I know UC Riverside's not a very good road team. And they've not looked very good of late. They went to the Big Island. They went to Hawaii and they got crushed 98-71. Right from the tip, they shot terribly, 35 from the field and 27 from 3. And in that game, Hawaii were 17.5-point favorites. Now, we get Hawaii, who could easily win the Big West. We get them on the road here against a weak opponent. They have CSUN on deck. It's not that CSUN is 8-5. CSUN is a tough basketball team, and here I think that they can overlook Bakersfield. A team that's sitting here at the very bottom of the conference. And I generally succeed with dogs in the Big West. And I'm moving on one here. Cal State Bakersfield Roadrunners to stay in this basketball game, to bounce back here after that 98-71 loss. This is a Hawaii team that's won 4 or 5, but they beat Long Beach State by 7 on the road. They lost to UC Irvine on the road. They lost to UC Santa Barbara on the road. So they've lost 2 of their last 3 road games. They did beat Cal Poly by 20 on the road. They lost to UC San Diego on the road. So there's 3 of their last 5 road games they've lost. And, I just think it's too many points. I think the Cal State Bakersfield can stay in this game. So I'm getting my card started here. But AM says this line is intentionally short, reeling in all the Hawaii action, and says Bakersfield live.
Yeah, his thing was minus 19.5, minus 19, I believe. So
yeah, I mean that'd be music to my ears here. So and Dan Kelly, Rio just birdied another hole, moved to minus 162. Thank you for that live share with us, my man. So there, I get my Big West action started with the biggest dog in the Big West, the team at the bottom of the ledger, Cal State Bakersfield Roadrunners, to stay in this game against the Rainbow Warriors. And that's my card getting started. Let's roll on. Let's head to Riverside, California.
Yep, Santa Barbara versus Riverside here, continuing our tour of the California University system. Santa Barbara was minus 8 at one point and now is down minus 6.5 here for Santa Barbara. There is 66% of the bets and 94% of the money on Santa Barbara here. Line has moved to Riverside.
Look, UC Riverside's a real Jekyll and Hyde home road basketball team. They also seem to handle the big dog situation here. And I moved on them against the Gauchos. this is the first time they're playing UC Santa Barbara. We have another team at the bottom of the ledger. I mean, this team is just they're losing dramatically, and I have watched this team cash for me in situations just like this. So I expect them to do it again. They did lose to Cal Poly in their last home game, 94-87. Before that, they beat Long Beach State by 10. This is a team that's won 2 of their last 4 home games. They destroyed Cal State Fullerton by 9. They lose to the Anteaters by 14. I just see this as a team that can stay in this game against UC Santa Barbara. So I followed the line move. AM says Santa Barbara smash and grab. He is UC Santa Barbara minus 10.5. So it's a 4-point difference here. Look, this is the situation where I succeed. Nobody wants to back UC Riverside. The gamblers are all on the Gauchos. This line's moving towards UC Riverside. UC Riverside at home is a big dog. I think can stay in this basketball game. And I let the line dictate the action. I'm on plus 6.5 minus 107, Jose.
All right, plus 6.5. I agree with the look. And we roll on. Nate, by the way, this hair's not getting cut the closer to Pubapalooza time, probably. So good luck, Nate. Good luck looking at this mug for the rest of the month. Cal State Fullerton. Long Beach State here, continuing the California tour here. Cal State Fullerton is right now. Let's find out where they are. They're at +1 still, +1.5 at Bodog, and where the anonymous gambler does his thing here, but -1s across the board otherwise for Long Beach State here. There is 80% of the bets and 60% of the money on Long Beach State. And I know we don't talk totals often, but 94% of the bets and 87% of the money on the over in this game.
Here I'm on the ugliest dogs in the conference today. And I'm on all of them. I'm on the bottom 4 teams in the conference. I'm on Long Beach State in this one. Their last 2 games have been against the best teams in the conference. UC Santa Barbara barely beat them by 3. Hawaii beat them by 7. And they played Cal State Fullerton. They played the Titans. They lost 71-61, at Cal State. And Long Beach is just a different team. They're just a different team at home. They're a different team this late in the season. They shot 37% from the field in the first meeting between these 2 teams. And they were only 3.5-point dogs. They opened up as 4.5-point dogs, closed to 3.5-point dogs. At the time, this was an 8-12 basketball team. Now they haven't won since. They're 8-16, 4-8 in the Big West. They're playing so much better at home. And I am on the Long Beach State Beach. These ugly dogs take care of me this time of year in the Big West, and I'm on another one here. We're fading the public. We're on Long Beach. What did I get? I got Long Beach on the -115 on the money line. What's it now, Jose?
On the money line, let's find out here. I'm on obviously BOL. I'm getting -120 at BOL.
All right, I'll beat it by 5 cents. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with all of this. Look, I know this is ugly action here in the Big West, but I think these dogs are going to take care of business. And I have another very ugly dog in San Luis Obispo. Jose, take us to the Cal Poly Mustangs.
Man, I wish I knew how to spell that because I definitely don't know how to do that. You could offer me $1,000 right now, and I wouldn't have a shot at spelling that. Cal Poly here. We have, let's find out. Sorry, we have doing a little searching here for our friends at Cal Poly here. And here they are. UC Irvine opened up at -7 and is down to 5.5 here for them here. There's 61% of the bets and 88% of the money on Irvine right now. What do you think, Jimmy?
Look, I think that at the end of the night, a lot of gamblers go over to the Big West to make back what they've lost. All of these teams, all these favorites are being hammered right now, and the line's moving against all of them. I am here backing Cal Poly. Cal Poly coming off 2 straight losses, UC Davis and CSUN at home. They lost CSUN 97-96. This is their first meeting with the Anteaters. Look, I just think it's too many points. UC Irvine, not as good. I mean, they're still quality, 9-3 in the Big West, arguably not as good as last year. They're coming off a loss against UC Santa Barbara. But look, Cal Poly can menace in this spot. We've watched them look better as the season's gone on. Maybe the loss at UC Davis isn't the best example. But I'm on Cal Poly. Cal Poly plus the points in San Luis Obispo. We're fading the public. Here. So we have a projection from AM UC Irvine -11, and we're sitting here with a line moving towards Cal Poly. I got the +6, opened up a +7, and these are all ugly dogs in the Big West. And I would like to say I'm certain I'm going to come out of here with a positive ROI in these 5 games. I can't. But I really like it. I really like Cal Poly here. I really like these dogs in the Big West this time of year. And there is one more dog left in the chamber. So let's move on to our final spot, buddy.
Let's move on to it. And we've got Billy Friedrich and AM agreeing on things. So maybe good things can happen to those who follow. UC Davis and UCSD here. San Diego versus Davis here. 86% of the bets and 89% of the money on UC Davis here. Line has moved in their favor, went from -6 to now -5. Maybe is that enough? You can debate that, but 86% of the bets, 89% of the money on Davis. Line has moved 1 point in their direction from 6 to 5.
UC Davis playing good basketball. I think they're going to be a tough outcome conference play. They've won 6 of 8. One of those losses was at home to UC San Diego, 80-74. I think they can go in and get their revenge. I'm sitting here with the points. What did you say it's at right now?
UC San Diego, the spread-wise percentages, we have, let me find it again here. UC Davis is 86 and 89% of the money.
Oh, no, sorry. What's the spread at? I got the +5.
5. It's at 5, yeah.
Okay, no 4.5s, no 5.5s?
No.
Okay. These teams met, earlier in the year in Davis, California, and UC Davis was +1.5. UC Davis was in control. They basically stopped defending and they stopped scoring. They shot 36% from the field and fell apart late, got out rebounded. UC Davis playing very good basketball, 6 and 8. They're 6 and 2 over their last 8. And I think that they can get the revenge here. I'm surprised, a little surprised that the Aggies are, the public team. This is a UC San Diego team that's coming back from Hawaii. It was on Saturday, but they're coming back from Hawaii. I'm sure they enjoyed themselves in Hawaii, and now they have to play UC Davis immediately. And I think it's going to be a tough game for them. They've lost 4 of 5. Obviously, they played Hawaii tough. Did they put all their energy into it? I mean, we'll see. I am on the UC Davis Aggies. So I got 5 dogs and ugly teams, the bottom 4 teams in the conference on the Big West. And I'm pretty confident. I mean, it's going to be sweaty and uncomfortable, and I'm sure I'll be moving live, but these bets that are sickening, I find work in the Big West this time of year, and I plan on hammering the Big West on these Thursday nights for the next 4 or 5 weeks before we get in the conference play. So that is my action. And at this point, I'm going to go over everything that people have copied and pasted, that I've copied and pasted off people. But at this point, I don't know if I add anything. My cards: UMass Lowell -5, IU Indy +5.5, Valpo +8, Murray State first half -1.5, Chicago State Cougars +1.5, Wagner +6.5, Towson first half -3, UT Martin moneyline, Southern Utah +6, Louisiana Tech +5, Memphis -2, Cal State Bakersfield +12, UC Riverside +6.5, Long Beach State Beach moneyline -115, Cal Poly +6, UC Davis +5. That is my college action here. We're coming off a 6-5 day. I need to succeed here. It's just so important. So it's going to be a sweaty night. Spooner says UC Davis played the easiest schedule in the conference. San Diego taking a major step down in competition. Says I was hoping people would hit UC San Diego so I could get San Diego at 3. Yes, the solution. I am on the Cougars of Chicago State. Ronnie Crawford NCAA play today is South Alabama. So we have the corner of Spoons and Ron Crawford Boulevard. We'll talk about his NBA play of the day because it just came in as well. But shout out to our guy Ron Crawford. If you're listening on headphones, you might want to turn it down a little bit. Spreadsheet play today is South Alabama. So nerve-wracking here. Nerve-wracking to hear our guy Spooner's breakdown, but I've succeeded with the Aggies here. Took out UC Irvine at home 75-72. Went to Santa Barbara, went and beat the Gauchos. Nerve-wracking. I mean, this is a team in UC Davis that's beaten Santa Barbara at home and on the road. I mean, but I mean, there are some weak teams in this group, but UC Santa Barbara 9-4 would be 9-2 if they didn't play the Aggies. But it makes me nervous to hear our guy Spooner wanting to get in on San Diego, and we'll see if he gets the chance. Jose, it's time for me to move on Olympic hockey. I'm not going to wait any longer.
Exciting.
It feels like the line is stabilized. Let me turn off this alarm here. Quickly get this off. And so I'm going to move on it right here, right now. Jose, my friend, why don't you talk to us about the baseball team you're most excited in backing as the season starts?
That is the translation. Stall so I can make this bet. Stall so I can make this bet. Well, I'm excited to make this bet with you. I will be tailing your anti-United States action here with Latvia, correct? Plus 3.5?
No. No, I'm going to take the +4 at -128.
+4.
But I get it. I get why that 3.5 is appealing at this number.
Well, you guys in the chat, I hope you guys ride with old Jimmy the Bag on that one. You know what a team I don't like this year, Jimmy? I can tell you that. It's the Boston Red Sox. That's going to be an under baseball team because they refuse to address the hitting concerns that they have up and down the lineup. But I will continue to echo, you lost the value when you didn't bet it when I did, but the United States to win the Baseball World Classic, -120 right now. Japan has worse odds than the DR, and the DR has a gauntlet to go through their own right. So excited to see how that all unfolds for myself, especially because the rosters are all announced and everything. So I look forward to that. But I am going to tell our good pal Jimmy the Bag here on this Olympic hockey as well. And I'm sure you've been tuned into the Canadian women getting dominated by the U.S. in hockey and women's hockey as well. That was a shock. I had a friend that bet Canada that game too.
I mean, I really wasn't. I don't care.
Fair enough.
I heard that Canada lost their captain, Poulin. So, I mean, congratulations to the American women's hockey team. Is that what I should say? I don't know. What the fuck is that?
Yeah, well, we'll see what the rematch is like in the gold medal game because that's definitely going to be the gold medal game. We all know that. So, Bill's Birds, that lockout is coming next year. Yes, this shit. We got to enjoy the last year of baseball that we got.
Oh, no, I waited too long. Now God damn it. There's been a move back to the under 6.5. I got to go to a different book now. And I have to bet it. God damn. Look, I think that under 6.5 is live. The birthday picks, the super true story, and to our guy, Morgan Spooner, you're not going to be able to cash them until you wake up from your birthday. It is Finland, Sweden under 5.5. Finland, Sweden under 5.5. There you go. That is.
Oh my God, I'm getting fucked on that number. I have 5.
You do?
Yeah, 5+ money.
Oh, that's great news. I was saying why. Well, not for you. I don't mean that, but I mean like I was just waiting. Like the line doesn't make any sense. I'm gonna hit this here in a second.
Yeah. Go bet that now because I have a 5, and hopefully you guys have the 5.5 still. Jesus, I'm getting fucked on that number. I'm not getting a 6 either. Or what was the bet here? 4 actually. Excuse me. It was a 4. I'm not getting either. I'm getting 3.5 plus 1 money.
How much money? Plus what?
Plus 115.
Only plus 115 for the plus 3.5. It's sitting here at plus 145 for me. I mean,
God, oh my Lord. I'm going to text my fucking guy and be like, what the fuck are you doing to me?
Okay, so I'm in here for the Olympics. That's locked and loaded here. No first period action, just under 6.5 and Latvia plus 4. And we have our next games starting in 47 minutes. In 43 minutes. Let me just take one last look at the Olympic hockey situation. So there's been a pretty legit move to the Germany-Denmark over. It's a little uncomforting. And then Finland, Sweden still sitting here under 5.5 minus 118.
Unbelievable.
And then for the 6.5s, the offshore penny, their totals are all regulation time. It doesn't really matter for the 5.5s. It matters for the 6.5s very, very much. So keep that in mind. If you have an account over at penny, you'll want to attack those spots. So I have that under 6.5 in Czechia, Canada. I had that in regulation. And so in case that 3-3 tie happens. Okay. So let me just quickly, I need you to stall just for a little bit longer, make sure I got this all set up here to press the button. We have just before we get an NBA with Billy Brisbane, we have Ronnie Crawford saying for him, Jose, it is the Kansas City Royals over 81.5 victories. What do you think of that?
Well, Ron's obviously, I'm sure, a little biased in that statement, but I do like the Royals. I think I've told you guys that I have 4 pitchers written down for this year so far. Let me scroll back to where I found those pitchers or where I have them. My 4 pitchers that I have written down so far are Hurston Waltrip, who I'm planting my flag on is the next Spencer Strider, Tyler Wells. Jimmy, you remember our old friend Tyler Wells?
Of course I do.
And Cole Raggins. Cole Raggins is the best pitcher I have on that list because last year he was a fade, and this year he is going to be a back with all of those coming off of injury and all that good stuff. And then we talked about Grayson Rodriguez, I think yesterday. I mean, you can't come off the mat one time, Grayson. So we'll see. We'll see how all that goes. I mean, I'm excited to start baseball. There's 2 pitchers and catchers reported 2 days ago. So it's going to be good. It's going to be good. I can't wait. But I do like the Royals this year, Mr. Crawford. I can't confirm that. I'm not trying to make too many futures bets, but they would be the team I'd be leaning towards in that division.
And yes, birthday pick in Finland, Sweden under 5.5. Finland, Sweden under 5.5 here. The LIU just dropped to 6.5.
Nice. That was 7s, right?
Yeah. No, I'd already gotten the 6.5, unfortunately. So
and Spoons, you're right. I did forget about them moving in the stadium, the fences at Kauffman. Shout out to Vinny Pesquintino, is very much going to enjoy that. I'll tell you that.
All right, it is time to talk NBA. Jose, thank you so much for all that you've done here for me and for the show today, my friend. It is time to bring on our next guest and attack the 3-game NBA card. Our last 3 games now. On tomorrow, we can discuss 3-point shootout and slam dunk contest and things of that nature here. But right now, we got 3 games left. Nicholas Handy on the Pirates over. Coin saying Circus got the Sweden under 5.5 minus 120. That's a nice spot. I mean, I got the minus 118. That's a nice spot. I like that a lot. Los Chudy, I'm on the under 6.5. The under 6.5 when the show started, the under 6.5 was minus 118. It got, and I was waiting for the over money to come in, and I just timed it wrong. I could have got the under 6.5 at plus 100. Late move back to the under, which I agree with. Under 6.5 minus 118 for me, Los Judy. That's my spot. Let's bring on our next guest star, the Locker Room Talk podcast. The fellas get a week off of UFC before things get very exciting in the mixed martial arts world. So they get a break this week, but that doesn't stop us from attacking the NBA. Please welcome from South Jersey, our guy, Billy Brisbane. Brizzy, what's good, man? How are you?
Doing good. Excited. Got a nice little Thursday docket of games before it feels like a little bit of a hiatus for some of the main professional leagues.
Yes. Thank God for horses, which I want to be attacked. I miss very, very much. It's time to attack the horses here, which I always do when sports lightens up a little bit. Brizzy, my friend, let's get to work. We start with the Milwaukee Bucks at the Oklahoma City Thunder. Milwaukee Bucks 22-30, 10-18 on the road. Thunder 42-13, 22-5 at home. We're at Paycom Center in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. We have these squads both on the second half of a back-to-back. Milwaukee, and that bothered me so much last night. Spooner is talking about, we had this conversation, which we'll do a lot of theorizing on in San Antonio, but it was about, what are your rules? You have rules, and I have a bunch of rules, and I need to start writing them down. One of the rules that I abandoned yesterday was I never back the team that loses on the first of two games in the same arena or a home and home. I never do.
Yeah, it was a weird card because there was a couple of situations where there was the home and home set up, and I felt like all the home and home teams just lost outright.
Yeah, sorry, I said that wrong. I never back the team that wins on the first game to win again. I never do. I got talked into it, and there's nothing wrong with getting talked into it. That's what our job is to break down games. I got talked into the Magic. I broke a rule. I got to not never ever break these rules. Don't bet totals in the week leading up to the All-Star game. I mean, the rules that I broke just because I'm having a good season, and I should not do that. So it was an impressive victory for the Milwaukee Bucks here, and an impressive victory for Oklahoma City, 136-109. There's not going to be a shoot-around, so we're not going to get a ton of information, but let's see what the expectation is here for these two NBA lineups. Let's go over the line history, and then we'll hand it over to Billy Brisbane. We have Antetokounmpo and Prince out, Rollins questionable, and Kyle Kuzma questionable here. Rollins missed the first half of the back-to-back, so you would think that he would be in the lineup for this one. I mean, that would be your guess. It is.
I would think out. I mean, it's the day before an All-Star break.
I mean, I felt like it was like almost a rest management thing. I mean, Kuzma. I mean, so he's going to miss both games of the back-to-back. I mean, I guess it's questionable how much is this foot injury?
It's weird. I'm seeing this line fluctuate like all across the board.
But that's the first game he's missed. I mean, I just maybe it was a big. I thought when he sat the second of the two games in Orlando that he would be here for this, but
no, that might be right.
But it might be right. But you're right. Like I guessing with these things is very dangerous.
I mean, that's the sensible thing, but the NBA injury news report is never sensible.
We have Jalen Williams, the small forward. He's out. Hartenstein out. Shea out for Oklahoma City. So both teams coming off massive victories on the road. So both teams had to travel. Milwaukee sitting here plus 13.5 at minus 105. This opened up at 14. It's down to a 12.5. It moved to 12.5 3 minutes ago. So those of you that were already looking at Milwaukee, it's moving as we speak. This totals at 213.5. It opened up at 215.5. And when we get to the cash flow, we have 80% of tickets, but just 64% of the cash on Oklahoma City. 86% of tickets on the under and 60% cash on the under. This just feels like too many points, Brizzy. It just feels like too many points. I know we just saw the Thunder wax wax the Suns, but doesn't this feel like too many points? I mean, the Thunder just shot 58% from the field and 42% from three. I mean, they only turned the ball over 8 times. They got up to a 37-point lead. I'm very interested to see what the chat has to say about this spot. Dougie Wise saying Bucks spot here. A Dutch boy fresh in the house is already on All-Star break, says we care more about these games than these players right now. I feel that. Truth Teller in the house. Great to see you, Truth Teller. This just feels like too many points for this lineup. Brizzy, take it away.
Yeah, I mean, both teams on the second night of a back-to-back coming off big wins. For OKC, it was a rout over ATS leading Suns. Late line movement on the Bucks game, and it was a good bounce-back spot for him. Doc Rivers has definitely taken a liking to new free agent signing Cam Thomas. He said last night, I've had Jamal Crawford, Lou Williams, and now Cam Thomas, so pretty high praise from the Bucks coach. Milwaukee's played a lot better of recent. They've won 4 of their last 5 after some frustrations about the Giannis rumors. It was kind of a shock to the system for OKC when they had SGA ruled out for a period of time and then added in another layer with Jalen Williams being out. It'll be a true test of OKC's front office, as they've been credited as like one of the deeper rosters in the team. They have a really good G League team with like hidden gems all over the board, like Topic. Topic just had a 25-plus point game in the G League this week. McCain addition in the trade deadline was pretty big. Like, they're going to need him for nights like this, and he's got a lot to prove. Last game before the break, I feel like the total could be a little bit more appealing. Like, if Milwaukee rules out some players and then we just see an OKC have 4 straight overs, I like the under, and I kind of lean towards Milwaukee a little bit too many points, but I think OKC obviously wins this game outright. But I think the under is a little bit more appealing. Like, this total's a lot lower than the other 2 on the card. This is the first of the Amazon Prime games as well.
I'm going to try my hardest to stay away from totals, but I just don't understand why the Bucks don't stay in this game. I know they're a Jekyll and Hyde team, and you're betting them off a high, but you're betting Oklahoma City off of a higher high. I know their ceiling is much higher. I think the Bucks should be bet at this number here. Justin on the under 215 and a half here. Wow. Okay, let's roll on. Brizzy. Game 2 of a 3-game slate, 9 p.m. Eastern, with the Portland Trailblazers 26-29, 10-16 on the road. And free bands. Play of the day is the Blazers -8, -115 at the Utah Jazz. 18-37, 11-17 at home, Delta Center, Salt Lake City, Utah. The Jazz, making what seems to be very shrewd acquisitions, are letting us know that it's time to shut down any kind of hope for them to pick up late in the year. JJJ is being shut down for the season. Harkless out. George is questionable. On the other side of things, Thibault out, Murray doubtful, Scoot doubtful, Williams questionable, and Sharp questionable. Bench pieces in Sharp and Williams. George would be the starting point guard for the Jazz if he is healthy and good to go. The Portland Trailblazers had their 3-game winning streak snapped last night. 133-109 loss at Minnesota. It was a very poor performance. The Jazz smash and grabbed the Sacramento Kings. Was that not the craziest line? The line closes at 5.5.
Was that not the craziest bullshit injury news report for both teams? I mean, damn. I mean, how good of a coach is Will Hardy? I mean, the front office is giving him like every fucking restriction possible, and he's still out here just saying, "Give me whoever. I bet you will compete."
I mean, it helped having JJJ out there going 8 of 13 from the field, his home debut, and then shut down. But the line moved towards the Kings. I even said to myself, close to game starting, I want to be on Sacramento with this line moving all the money on Utah. But I was like, I can't press the button on this trash-ass basketball team. Thank God. Or I would have looked like such a fool trusting this team that's clearly given up. Just why? Because the market, because I deem it to be a sharp look. The Sweaty Butcher says away favorites off a loss are 16-2 to the over since the first of the month. That is absolutely wild. And Justin McKelvey, Stacks play today number 2 is Utah Jazz team total over 115.5. Stacks play today, Utah Jazz team total over 115.5. Stacks. This line opens up at 7.5, goes up to 8, comes back to 7.5, gets up to an 8.5 at 11:13 a.m. And now we're back at 7.5. That 7.5 juice to the Jazz. I mean, this is just a huge favorite line for Portland. This total opened up at 236. We're now at 238.5. This got up to 240 at 7 this morning. Now we're at 238.5. You know, I want things to be expensive. This is a very expensive line for Portland. You know, Dougie Wise showing no concern whatsoever to get into it. Utah has 55% of the tickets and 87% of the cash. 87% of the cash. Now, it has moved from 8.5 to 7.5 at Circa with 56% tickets, 86% cash on Utah. To me, I don't care that it's moved back. This opener is what's absolutely mind-boggling. And then you have to take into consideration, well, the Jazz just shot 55 from the field and 41 from 3. You have to think that won't continue, even though this is a no-travel back-to-back. Portland comes in after getting lambasted by the Minnesota Timberwolves and shooting the ball horrifically. I guess not. 36% from 3 is not horrific. I guess I take that back. It was just that they allowed Minnesota to pretty much get what they want. Very interested to hear your breakdown here, Brizzy. Take it away, Blazers Jazz, Delta Center.
Yeah, this is such an interesting game because it's like, Will Hardy got that call from the front office last night. Like, hey, bud, you're doing a good job, but you're winning too many games. This seems like an opportunity to fade like one of those tanking teams right before the All-Star break here, with Portland being right on the bubble. It was kind of like a dose of reality for them hitting the road after a long extended homestand. I mean, it was like I think it was like a 7+ game like homestand for Portland, and then they had their first game on the road against Minnesota and they got busted. Utah's a gritty team, but they're kind of giving away games down at the end of the stretch, and that's kind of like their tank version. So I could definitely see this game being like back and forth, get to the fourth quarter, Portland pulls away, ends up winning the game by like 8-12.
I have interest in the Blazers. Were you shocked when you saw the opening line, or did you think this falls into place with, JJJ being shut down and the Jazz coming off domination?
I think the line is to appeal sports bettors to bet Utah plus the points, because if you look at like an NBA model or something like that, it would tell you to take Utah plus the points. But if you actually break down the X's and O's and then the situation, it kind of just seems like a Portland smash spot.
God, I don't know if I can bet Portland is as big of a favorite. I'm going to certainly be looking at it with Dougie Wise on it. Let's talk about our final game on the board, our final game of the show here, Brizzy. 10 p.m. Eastern with the Dallas Mavericks 19-34, 5-17 on the road at the LA Lakers 32-21, 14-10 at home. We're at Crypto.com Arena in Los Angeles, California. Prime Video number 2 game after Milwaukee OKC to set things off. Cooper Flag has been shut down. The Mavericks are losing and losing and losing. They are losers now of 8 straight games, coming off a 120-111 loss to Phoenix. And this ends their road trip here with the All-Star game coming up. Ends their road trip here. For the Lakers, and let's verify exactly who will be in for these LA Lakers. Luka out, Ayton questionable. Cooper out, of course. Martin and Marshall questionable. Marshall, the more important starting 3 here. These Lakers, are they going to be able to menace here? You would think that this would be a smash and grab spot with the Cooper Flag out and out of the Rising Star game. You have the Lakers coming off getting demolished. I mean, it's not a 30-point loss, but it's close at 28 points at home in San Antonio. You think they want to show something going into the break. You think they have enough leadership here. Dougie Wise says Lakers don't care about this game, could only look at the Mavs here. I think
I disagree.
I don't. I think that psychologically, the Lakers have to bounce back from 2 straight losses at home. They have not looked good. They didn't look good against the Warriors, and they, are coming off of 2 losses. That why would they want to go into the break off of 3 straight losses? But let's take a look at the line history and then hand this over to Brizzy. We have a total of 235.5. This opened up at 231.5 and has climbed. And then on the point spread here, we have Lakers minus 6.5. I think they would be bigger favorites than that. Opened up at 7, a half-point move away from the Lakers. I'm a little surprised at the line. And then cash flow-wise, Brizzy, we have 68% of tickets, 70% of cash on the LA Lakers, 66% of tickets on the under, and 72% cash on the over. I'm surprised this is not a bigger line here. Take it away, Brizzy, our final game on the board.
Yeah, you gotta feel like it's desperate times for the Lakers, losing back-to-back games against the upper echelon of the Spurs and the Thunder. The Mavericks have been kind of tank mode for the last couple of weeks, but there'll be select TV slots where we see them have their best performances this year. They won't feature Cooper Flag in this game, which is kind of baked into the line already, but you would think this line would be higher. Christie, though, if you look at Christie's props, they're a little bit higher than usual coming back into LA. Could be in store for an outlier game. This kind of seems like a Lakers win, but the Dallas backdoor covers.
I am surprised the Lakers aren't bigger favorites here. I
like the Lakers first quarter, though. I got to look into a little bit more on EV analytics about the Lakers first quarter ATS stats, but it feels like a Lakers first quarter spot. Line open up at 1.5, it's gone up to 2.5. National TV game, crypto arena. I definitely can see the Lakers getting ahead early here and then kind of like salting away the lead.
I don't want to, the last game before the All-Star break, get sharp. Honestly, it feels like the Mavericks are mailing it in. You got a Lakers team off an enormous loss. I'm astonished that the line is what it is. I mean, if we were just giving out picks, I get the Blazers and I get the Lakers. I don't want them in this market. Makes me uncomfortable. The Bucks is the only spot that I feel is worth betting at this point. Because I think that the fall will be bigger from OKC. Is there? I know that you're still kind of putting your action in together. Do you have a plan for something, or are you going to stay on the fence?
No, the plan for today is I like the prop market in this game specifically. Was able to cash some Luke Kennard props in his last game, but I really like the Christie props. I got to figure out if it's points and assists, points, rebounds, and assists, or just points. But Max Christie is definitely going to be on my card today. I think he's going to ball out in LA tonight. But we're going to go to like parlay Portland Blazers and the LA Lakers minus 119. And we're going to leave OKC out of it. But, yeah, we're going to go to 2-leg parlay minus 116, actually, on FanDuel.
And then stay tuned in the Discord to see if there's additions.
Yes, sir. Big night tonight. We're in the big South, Texas, Dallas Open tonight. Big old tennis tournament. Benny Shelton, revenge tour. If you remember the match in the U.S. Open that he fucked his shoulder up in against Adrian Manarino, gets to rematch tonight. So Dallas Open's where the money's at. So make sure you pop inside the Discord, look at the tennis slate, and I'll have some NBA posted in there as well. And we're going down to South America for the clay courts. It's crazy.
I love it. I love it. Our guy, Billy Brisbane in the house. Brizzy, I'm Bob, your X handle here in the chat. What's next for UFC action from Locker Room Talk Podcast?
Yeah, we got the UFC coming back next week. We are going to be in Houston, Texas, and it's going to be Sean Strickland taking on Anthony Fluffy Hernandez. Don't let the name Fluffy fool you. Boy is on a crazy winning streak. So make sure you tune in to the Locker Room Talk Podcast next Tuesday. And the Discord's really where it's at right now. It's we got some action popping off this weekend while everybody's bitching about no NHL and no NBA. This is heating on up, man, and we're trying to get hot before we get into March Madness here. March Madness is only a couple of weeks away.
I love it, Brizzy. Thank you for your time. I popped your X handle here in the chat. Hit that link. Support our guy, Billy Brisbane. Brizzy, any last words for the guy for supporting the show?
Yeah, make sure you follow me over on X, Billy, at Getting Bills, and then over on IG, Billy Briz, DFS. Been doing some kind of not impromptu, but more kind of just random live streams on the gram. Not live streams, but like streaming a tennis match or something like that while I'm live betting it. So make sure you check out the IG.
I love it. There's our guy, Billy Brisbane, in the house. Let's do a review of all action here on Betting with the Bag for Thursday, February 12th. First off, let's bring back our guy, Mr. Jose Snips Bouquet here. Jose, my friend, a bow we're going to put on the show. Wow. First off, Kong's Clips. Our guy Kong's Clips. Congratulations on winning our confidence pool. I will see if I have that confirmed, and then we can post it here. Congratulations, Kong's Clips, winning our confidence pool. Res Mob, Respect Play Day, James Madison, first half -3, -115. Stacks Play Day, number 1, Northern Iowa, +5.5. Number 2, Utah Jazz, over 115.5. Team total. Pig Milk Play of the Day. Let's see this one more time just to make us feel good. Pig Milk Play of the Day is Green Bay, -1. Pig Milk Play of the Day. Billy Friedrich on UMBC -3.5, Kennesaw State -3.5, Drexel -1.5, Marist +3.5, and Stonehill on the Skyhawks -1. J Dub is on Portland -8.5. I'm interested. Justin, Respect, looking forward to rock with you. It'll be all college basketball. Every game on the board for you, Wine Time, and myself, Justin. That's the plan for tomorrow. 9 Legacy, Flank Steak Play of the Day, Jazz. He's on NJIT, UC Davis, Utah Tech, and William and Mary Tribe for 9 Legacy. We have the Olympic hockey about to start. I'm pumped up. 10 minutes away. We've moved on first period under and full game under in Germany, Denmark. We've moved on Latvia +4 and the full game under 6.5 in USA, Latvia. I guess I could also move on that first period under. Let's just see what it's at right now. Oh, no, I can't. They're not letting us move on first periods at the main 2 books I've been, have full accounts with. Huh, okay. Then in college basketball, there were some spots I was interested in that I didn't move on. And I'm going to go over them one more time. New Hampshire, Maine, Binghamton, Gardner-Webb, Charleston Southern, USC Upstate first half. It was New Hampshire first half. USC Upstate first half. Both those lines moved against me. Cleveland State, I still have some interest in, and the UT Arlington line opener just doesn't make sense. So I am off that. Our guy We Do in the house talking about Eddie Griffin in the chat. When I was, it was a long time ago, and I got to do the Comedy Store from Sunday through Thursday, Sunday night through Thursday night. In just the belly room, that front room, not the big show lounge, just the front room. I would never know when I was on too, so I'd show up around 7:30, and I'd get the tap at some point, usually before 12:30. When Eddie Griffin would walk into the Comedy Store, all the comics would leave, and I've told this story before. I don't know if I've done it with you guys in a long time, but I didn't know why they had left. Why they were all leaving when he walked in, and then the guy Mike, who ended up he was stealing from Comedy Store. He was becoming the manager. He was Mitzi's right hand guy for a while. Mitzi Shore, Pauly Shore's mom, and he tapped me. He's like, "You want to go on after Eddie Griffin?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's exciting. Yes, I do." And then Eddie Griffin did 2.5 hours while chain smoking. No written stuff, just like improvising with the audience. There was 19 people when he said goodnight, and 16 of them got up. There was 3 left for me. At that point, I understood why everybody walked out when Eddie Griffin walked in. So the next time Eddie Griffin walked in, I walked out with everybody.
Learning lessons, just like you shouldn't click links supporting your friends on Twitter. You learn lessons.
It depends what links they are. I mean, you really think C-Mac's going to reach out to us and say, please? I mean, no, you're a good friend. You're a good friend, Jose.
You shouldn't. You also shouldn't help random women at gas stations late at night. That's another lesson I had to learn myself.
Oh, I help those random women.
I do not not anymore. Well, you screw me once, no thank you, never again.
Kong's Clips, we have some exciting news here. First off, right now we need to put out our congratulatory tweet and confirm the cash, get Kong's Clips paid. Then we need to do a couple things here. We need to put out our final top 5 for NFL Pub Hub. We need to do the congratulatory tweet for Ian Cameron for winning season 5. So those are 3 things. And then next week we will announce. We also have some fun stuff, new intro video for the show, some fun stuff going on. We're also going to be promoting Pubapalooza 5 a lot more. And Coin joining me on that under 6.5. Justin says if anyone clicks random links, they get what they asked for.
I got what I asked for at that time. I can't argue with you there, Justin. By the way, Alamo Card Show this weekend as well for those around town.
Wow. Okay.
Leave your significant other on Valentine's Day and go buy some sports or Pokemon cards.
Nice.
Here as well.
Alamo Card Show here. So thank you guys for rocking with us. For Morgan Spooner, NJIT money line, that was his birthday pick. My birthday pick to him was Finland, Sweden under 5.5. UNC Wilmington first half -4. William and Mary -4.5. Merrimack -2.5, and Southern Alabama plus 2.5. Nikolai is on Cal Baptist -5.5, and Southern Alabama. He put them together at plus 250. Robert Cherry's on Southern Alabama money line. UMass Lowell money line. Oakland money line. High Point -14. Murray State money line. Merrimack money line. William and Mary money line. Green Bay. I think Green Bay money line as well. And before we do our closing on happy birthdays, Twisted Belmont over 137.5, UT Arlington over 134.5, Oral Roberts over 147.5, NJIT over 142.5, Hofstra under 145.5. I'm going to bet the Bucks now. I may add to it here in a little bit. Thank you to all of you guys in the chat. Spooner, Kong, Justin, Coin, Nasty, Nate, We Do, AOD, The Solution, Joseph Gomez, Andrew G, thank you. Bo Jackson, Dan Kelly, Antoine Harris. He's on Case and Wallace over 3.5 assists. The Sweaty Butcher in the house. Great to be rocking with you. Sweaty Butcher, Los Chudy, go get that cash. Truth Teller, Dutch Boy Fresh. Thank you guys so much for rocking with us, man. Means a ton. Happy birthday to Super True Story. Thank you for all that you do for us. Happy birthday to Morgan Spooner. Excited to be able to buy Morgan Spooner several beverages when we are theorizing sports gambling at Pubapalooza 5 alongside Jose Bouquet as well. Don't forget, SN1P5 in business and will be the dealer of our late night poker games as well.
I'm going to put the bet in now, Jimmy. Morgan Spooner to be the drunkest person day one of Pubapalooza 5.
No way, no, because I need him Tuesday morning, man. No way. I got it. No way.
Friday night, drunkest person at Pubapalooza, Mr. Morgan Spooner.
A Friday night may be a little different, but Wednesday, Thursday, I got to keep. I need Morgan Spooner on camera. Also, don't forget, Spooner's going to be doing the Sauce Network at midnight, right? Or at
drunk as a skunk on Friday night. Drunk as a skunk.
Perfect for our
Friday night. Kyle's gonna look at him a completely different human being.
Perfect, absolutely perfect, man. I cannot wait.
He said, "Play the Kool-Aid, man." That's a -300 line for Mr. Spoon's bets, so I can't wait.
I'm so excited. Thank you all so much. Happy birthday, Super True Story, Morgan Spooner. Jose, thank you for all your hard work. Can you please bless our action and lead us into the future? 3 minutes away for puck drop for USA Latvia. I'm excited to watch.
Yeah. Cannot wait. Austin Matthews, are you man or are you mouse? We will find out throughout this tournament. Should be a fun one. All this focus on Canada and America. And those slick Swedes coming at them, Jimmy. The Swedes. I believe in the Swedes here. Shout out to you guys all. Happy birthday to Spoons again here. Appreciate all you guys. Thanks everyone in the chat. Keep watching, keep listening, liking, support how you can, become a member, and be here tomorrow for an packed college football. I was going to say football, basketball show tomorrow. And let's let Jay, you little bookmakers.